Film is a disease, Frank Capra said. When it infects your bloodstream, it takes over as the number one hormone. It plays Iago to your psyche. As with heroin, the antidote to film is more film.
Hello and welcome to my Cellular Heart podcast. Yes, of course. Now today, this is a big show, a very, very big show. I was working on my, Ed Sullivan, but horribly fucked it up. So really, really big show. There you go. Anyway, for those of you who have not been here to my show before, welcome to my Cellular Heart podcast. The podcast, two films brought together by one topic or theme, and then I mix in spoilers and trivia and all that good stuff. So be warned. Today's episode is a great one. Me and Joe Merle from Those Movie Guys podcast and formerly of International House of Horrors, we did Korean horror. I Saw the Devil from 2010 and The Train to Busan 2016. Actually, Train to Busan, not The Train. Anyway. Not that that matters, but speaking of corrections, here's a correction, a couple of them from the last show. I make these because they bother me when I fuck them up, and so I put them here for all to know that I know, and now you know, so that you don't go, who is that guy? That guy's name was George Raft, who was in They Drive By Night with Humphrey Bogart, and he was also in Some Like It Hot. He was a bad guy that was like, wanted them dead. It's pretty cool. He was always then pegged as that guy and was like, he kind of came up as like almost like a mobster, but not a mobster, but like, you know, with criminal underpinnings somewhere. So anyway, pretty interesting. And Mia Farrow was in The Purple Rose of Cairo, the girl that I couldn't think of from fucking Rosemary's Baby. So sorry, I had to take a drink of water, and it was not Phoenix City Story that I thought had Chuck Connors in it. It was actually called The Police Connection, or you could find it on Amazon Prime as The Mad Bomber. And that's one that I found when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out, and I was like watching all these movies from 1969 that Quentin had talked about, and I was like, oh shit, and that was one I found. It's really good. Vince Edwards and him. It's awesome. And The Penthouse was directed by Peter Collinson in 1967, and maybe that is why Paramount wanted him, because it is about three thugs, Tom, Dick, and Harry, a woman, break into the penthouse apartment of an adulterous couple and proceed to terrorize them. But as it turns out, things aren't exactly what they seem to be. Other than that, I didn't really recognize any movies that he was in, that he had directed. But that one sounds kind of like one that you might go, that sounds interesting. Let's put him for the Italian Job, as like the year before, I believe. And The Great Train Robbery is a two-part drama which portrays the Great Train Robbery of August 8th, 1963. Not the original, like way back in the day. 1963. Firstly, it's from the point of the robbers. Then it's from the view of the police, who set out to identify to catch the robbers. And the BBC miniseries, that was the one I was talking about. It was from 2013, and you can watch it on Amazon Prime, and I highly recommend it. Very fucking cool. Very, like, detailed. Like, I had known about that story before. Like I said, every time I hear about wipe the place clean, no fingerprints, that's what I think of, that they fucked up. Somebody left their fingerprints. Somebody didn't destroy the evidence they should have got rid of while they were hanging out at that fucking safe house. So they would have got away with it. But what's funny is that they're loose now. So I don't know if they've hid the money. I'm sure eyes are watching them somewhere. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, pretty cool, pretty funny. And if there's anything else that I missed, please let me know or send me some recommendations of some movies that you want me to talk about, like two movies together by a theme, you know, Burt Reynolds, whatever. That's just something I thought of off the top of my head. What I'm going to be doing, I believe, on the next show, to let you guys know, to do your homework, is the Holy Grail, Monty Python's The Holy Grail, and The Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. So that one Jason Bromley had came up with from Popcorn Promises. He said, hey, we've done Temple of Doom. What if we did this? He said, I had a good reaction when I did Life of Brian on my show from Monty Python. Maybe we should do Holy Grail. I said, that's fucking brilliant. Yes, let's call it Holy Grail, and we'll do those shows. So we're going to do that in 2 weeks. And so I hope you all do your homework and enjoy. But for this show, I really hope that you guys go out and watch I Saw the Devil from 2010 and Train to Busan 2016. Train to Busan on Netflix, and I Saw the Devil is on Pluto TV. If you have Pluto TV, just watch it there. And now I have a voicemail I'd like to play from a friend of mine who called in because, I tell people, hey, why don't you call in? And they say, okay, we'll do. And then they do. So here is that voicemail.
You have a message.
Hey, man, this is Sean Holstein. I was watching, I'm off for a couple of days. I was watching, there's a couple movies I haven't seen in a long time. One of them is called Modern Girls, where it's this guy that he's kind of nerdy and they work in this office and he gives these two girls that are real hot. One of them is Daphne Zuniga, and he gives them a ride. They go out clubbing, and he also plays this guy that looks like him that's a singer. And I remember there was a Depeche Mode song at the end of the movie, and they're like hanging out in L.A. And I kind of like that movie. It's not, I mean, it ain't great. It ain't going to win an Oscar, but, it's kind of, just fun. And then the other one was Hiding Out with John Cryer, Ducky, and the guy on 2.5 Men, and he did a movie where Hiding Out, where these guys are trying to kill him and they kill his friend, and he goes back to his old hometown and goes in the convenience store and dyes his hair and tries to fit in high school again, kind of almost like a 21 Jump Street kind of thing. But he ends up falling for this girl that's 10 years younger than him or something. And I think I want to say it was Annabeth Gish, if I remember correctly. And it has that, catch me, I'm falling. Catch me now, I'm falling. But anyway, I've just been on the 80s thing lately. Well, anyway, hope you're all right and stay safe and well. Love your show. Always will. And you take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sean Holstein, for letting me know about those movies. Thought I'd put that at the beginning of my recommendations for today, this week, these 2 weeks, whatever. So that one movie I had never heard of. I like Daphne Zuniga. I looked it up on my little app that tells me where movies are playing and streaming, and it is not streaming anyway. Modern Girls from 1986, which has Cynthia Gibb, it's maybe the girl he's talking about, Virginia Madsen, Daphne Zuniga. Sounds really cool. I'm going to look for it, find it somewhere, I'm sure, and I'll let you guys know if I find it. The other one, Hiding Out, is a great fucking movie. I saw it years ago. It's on Amazon Prime. I have it on my list to watch because I haven't seen it for a while, and I really like those kind of movies. Like he's undercover playing like he's a teacher because he's almost in Witness Relocation Program. It's very cool. So anyway, I thought, and also he wanted us to know he saw Yesterday, but he likes Across the Universe better. But anyway, so let's get into this now, shall we? And you can send any questions or comments or any of that to mycellularheart@gmail.com, or you can send a voicemail, just like Sean Holstein did, or text to 602-602. My wife would say, what are you? It's not an O, it's a 0. 602-688-2403. That's 602-688-2403. You can text that number. You can call with a voicemail. Let me know what you think of these movies that I'm talking about. Let me know if you watched any of the movies that I recommend. Anything. So let me know if my show sucks. That'd be fine too. Anyway, okay, let's get into it. There's a bunch, and it's a long show. It's an hour and 30 minutes of what Joe and I recorded about a week ago. So let's get to what I've been watching, because there's kind of a lot, but I love movies. I saw Lockout again from 2012 because me and Jason Bromley did Lockout on his show, Popcorn Promises podcast, and we had a hell of a time. It was fun. So I don't know if anybody's seen this movie Lockout, but it's really good. Guy Pearce, like sci-fi, like it's really cool. It's just written well, great character. Anyway, then I saw Bikram from 2019. That's on Netflix. It's basically about this problematic yoga guru, who kind of takes his power and does perverted things with it, with these young girls who are looking to learn. So very, if you're not into that, if that's going to rub you the wrong way, don't watch it. It was okay. I'm glad I watched it. It was short. I think it was 2 or 3 episodes. So it's not bad. Maybe it was 1 episode. It was an hour and a half. Wasn't too bad, but then, I'll go ahead and tell you the ending. He leaves, and they can't get anything. Until they bring him back here, he's not going to serve anything. So kind of sucked. Kind of like the Jeffrey Epstein thing. Watch that whole thing on Netflix, and you're like, wow, that's really good. And then nothing really happens because, then he's dead. Anyway, okay, then I saw Stranger on the Third Floor on Turner Classic Movies from 1940. And it's this guy who thinks everything's leading him to believe that he might be the killer. He might have killed his friend. He doesn't remember, but he's like, no, I didn't. But then he starts questioning, double thinking, and like, oh, maybe I did. I don't know. It's got Peter fucking Lorre in it. It's really good. The guy isn't Peter Lorre's playing like the bad guy, like a creep, like he always does. So great. Then I saw a movie that I had never finished. I saw it a long time ago on like cable, a friend of mine's cable. It's called Days of Thunder from 1990. So believe it or not, I have never seen this movie. I saw the beginning up until one of the races, kind of the second race, maybe the real important one at the end. Maybe it was the middle of the movie. And then I had to go do something. I never finished it. It got late. I had to go to bed, whatever it was. So the other day, watching Pluto TV, and it's on, I said, shit, I'm going to watch this. I love Tony Scott. I love, Tom Cruise. And I love Robert Duvall. So I watched those. And it was good. It was, it's total 90s, of course. Michael Rooker's in it. It's fucking awesome. Really cool. Really cool. I liked it. Would I buy it? No. Would I watch it again? No. There's other Tony Scott movies I'd rather watch more. Then on Criterion Collection, there's these Martin Scorsese shorts. There's a thing called American Boy from 1977, and he just films this guy that used to be like a drug dealer. He used to be like the tour manager for Neil Diamond, and he tells this story about how some girl OD'd, and he had to get an adrenaline shot and stab her with an adrenaline shot. The guy made him do it. The drug dealer told him, you do it. And he said, and I had this medical manual that I had to find, count down about 4 ribs, stab her like a stabbing motion into the chest to revive her. So when you hear that, you're like, holy fucking shit, that's Pulp Fiction. That's a scene from Pulp Fiction. Quentin Tarantino must have seen this and put that in Pulp Fiction. So cool. And this guy who's telling the story, he's a great fucking storyteller. Great, great little short film. It's like an hour long, like 57 minutes. Really good. And that guy was the guy that sold the guns to Taxi Driver. In the movie Taxi Driver, he plays the gun dealer. So it's very cool. So Martin Scorsese put him in that movie and then had him do the short film. So it was pretty cool. Then I saw in Criterion Collection, there's this movie called Harlan County, USA. And I had always seen it. I had always heard about it. I knew it was kind of a political documentary type thing. And I decided to watch it. It's from 1976. And it was really cool. It was really good to see like that time, like in the 70s. And it's basically about these people who go on strike. And then the scabs that, of course, they call people that don't go on strike are still working at the plant. And they're trying to block the road to tell them why that they need to go to Congress and do all this stuff. And, you know, basically all of a sudden these guys are pulling guns. They're threatening. They're shooting at houses. It's crazy. Anyway, it was pretty cool. I got a lot to get to, so I won't go dive too much into that. I saw Killers on Parade, Criterion Channel. It's a bunch of these Japanese assassins who are like different and weird. Each one was different and weird, and they're trying to one-up each other on killing somebody. And then there's this main guy who's kind of not an assassin, but kind of falls into it. And it's really cool. It was a neat, I love those, and that was 1961. I really love those 1960 Japanese, like real, you know, like not a period drama, but a 1960s Japan, like really cool. Then I saw this thing that they've been promoting on Amazon Prime, which is Zeta, Zeta, When the Dead Awaken. It's from 2019. It's a zombie movie. So I thought, hey, I just bought and watched Train to Busan, and I really need to maybe check this movie out. It's Indonesian. Maybe it's pretty cool. And it was okay. It was not a Train to Busan. It was not a, you know, Dawn of the Dead. It was just okay. So if you want it, it's on Amazon Prime. Check it out. You got to read it, subtitled, but it's okay. It's not too great. Anyway, then I saw Bride of the Monster from 1955. I'm going through like Tubi or somewhere. I forget. I'm on one of these channels that I get free movies on my Roku, and Bride of the Monster is on there from Ed Wood, and they play that in the movie Ed Wood. That's where he's fighting with the octopus, Bela Lugosi is. And I'm like, oh, I've seen this before, but I got to watch it again. It's been a while. So I watched it, and man, is it fun. It's cool. It's got Tor Johnson in it. Oh, pretty cool. Then An Evening with Beverly Loughlin, 2 words, from 2018. That's on Amazon Prime. No, that was on Netflix. And this is from the same guy that did Greasy Strangler. And it wasn't as good as the Greasy Strangler. There's something about the Greasy Strangler that was really fun, really weird, Napoleon Dynamite kind of thing. This one was good, but not as good. Then I saw, but it's got, it's got some main people in it, so it's cool. Then I saw a movie called Vi, V-I-Y. It's a Russian from 1967. That was on Criterion. It's like a horror movie, like a period piece. This monk stumbles onto a witch, an old witch, and he ends up killing her, but she changes form into a young woman. And so then they're like, oh my God, this young woman got killed by somebody, and they don't know who, but this monk happens to be in their village now. So they have him where you do for 3 days, you got to read the Bible in the same room with the dead body. You do this thing for 3 days, for like all night, from 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. And so he's doing that. And while he's doing that, this witch comes to life and like fucks with him. And it's really fucking cool for 1967. Like the special effects, like everything is really neat, really cool. So definitely check that one out. Again, you got to read it, but it's great. So I'd heard about, I love Godzilla. I've seen all the Godzilla movies, all the 70s. Like, I love all those. And all the way from, 56, 54, all the way through. And I was like, and I watch all the Toho stuff all the way up until like whatever. I was working at the video store, and I'm like, these things are still coming out. That's awesome. So I had heard Shin Godzilla is a good movie, and I have been wanting to see it. And everywhere I look, it's always it's not available. You got to buy it. So finally, I was like, hey, look, iTunes has it for $5. I'm gonna fucking get it. So I bought it. Unfortunately, it's the dubbed version. If I want the subtitled version, that one would be like $12. So, dubbed version, it was okay. It was good. It's a great movie, so it's fine that it's dubbed. I'm okay with that. But it's really cool. It's a total different take on Godzilla, and it's one movie. It's like just one movie by itself. Like at the end, you're not going, gee, I wonder what'll happen. Godzilla come back or whatever. You're kind of like, oh, that's the end. Like, cool, I got it. So it's kind of cool in that way, where it's different, where you're like, oh wow, So it's really neat. And then on iTunes, I'm looking. I don't even know how I found it. Maybe I looked it up. I was on this Korean kick because we did our podcast, and I love the movie Audition. It was so weird and so cool. And from 1999, I found that on sale. Not even on sale. That was the price. It was like $2.99. And I'm like, I can't fucking beat $2.99 on iTunes to own a movie as good as Audition. Yeah, I'll take it. So I took it and I bought it and I watched it and it was great. Then there's a movie called The Boob Tube. And I thought this was a movie my friend was talking about, Yvette, Sergio's wife, which she was. She said a long time ago, this is from 1975. She remembers, not in 1975, but around the 80s, she remembers they thought they were renting the Groove Tube, and they put on, it's a bunch of boobies, and just almost like a hard R movie. And they're like, what the fuck? And so I watched that, and I was like, oh my God, I go watch that. And she's like, we meant the Groove Tube, but that's a movie that us as kids were like, turned it off right away. We're like, we shouldn't be watching this. So anyway, it was fun. Should you watch it? No. It's just a guy moves into a place and all these girls come over and show their chest and they have sex. So now I found this really cool. I had heard about it. Not only just doing my James Bond movies, but I heard about this guy called Wang Wang. He's like 2'9", and he did a movie, his first movie, called For Your Height Only, from 1981, like right around For Your Eyes Only. For Your Height Only, Mr. Giant has kidnapped the Bryant. Gosh, I can't even read. Mr. Giant has kidnapped the brilliant Dr. Van Kohler and is planning to use the doctor's invention, the N-bomb, to hold the world hostage. The only one who can foil Mr. Giant's evil scheme is Agent 00, a 3-foot-tall Filipino martial arts master, expert marksman, top-class romancer, and all-around super spy. Can Agent 00 rescue Dr. Kohler before it's too late? Dun 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 dun. Yes, he can. Anyway, you should check the movie out. It's cheesy, it's fun, and he didn't live long, but he did a couple movies. They tried to find like what is his thing. And he trained and did all these martial arts things, but he's so small. It's awesome. So check it out wherever you can. For Your Height Only. Like YU apostrophe R, like that's how they say it. Anyway, then I saw The Tingler from 1959. If anybody has not heard of The Tingler, this is where Nick Castle, I hope I didn't fuck his name up. Nick Castle, yes. He was like almost like the Roger Corman of his day, but a little different, where he was a guy who, the Tingler, supposedly there was 1 or 2 chairs in a theater that they would rig up to vibrate. And when you're watching the movie The Tingler, he's telling you that you'll feel the fear tingle in your spine. And the only way to get rid of fear is to scream. And if you don't scream, you will die. So what they would do is during the movie at different times or during a climactic moment, they would hit that button, somebody backstage somewhere, and a couple of those chairs would vibrate and people would scream, and that would scare everybody else, and they would scream. And it was really fun. And so I would think like that'd be cool if you could go see The Tingler in like a movie theater like back then and check out the seat and see how it works. Like, oh, that'd be so nice if that was true. I believe it is true because he did things like that. And then at the end, like the ending is like the thing is loose in a movie theater and you're in a movie theater watching a movie about, oh, so good. Anyway, it's really cool. I found that for free. That's a, what's that guy's name? Vincent Price. It's a Vincent Price movie, if I didn't say that. Then I saw Greyhound from 2020, the Tom Hanks movie. And it was really good. It was on Apple TV. I liked it. It kept moving, and then it was over, and it was like, oh, that's cool. Will I watch it again? No. Is it like a Saving Private Ryan, stuff like that? No. Was it good? Yeah, it was good. It was real cool. And there's an interview with him on Conan O'Brien podcast called Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. And it's really cool because he talks about like making that film, making a couple of others, being on Saturday Night Live. It's just kind of cool. Then I was at Walmart and I found Cannonball Run for $5. And I was like, fuck, I got to buy this DVD. I don't care. It's going to look good. So I get it. I bring it home. I had it sitting there for a couple weeks, put it on. That is a fun movie. I forgot how fun that is, how much I remember. I used to watch that over and over again. Like I loved it. I had the little Lamborghini Countach, the little black one that the girls drive. Such a good movie. And then later I'd have the General Lee chase it, but the General Lee was a model that I bought, that I put together that was a little bigger than the Lamborghini. Anyway, it was fun. It was really cool. Then I watched El Mariachi from 1992. I think I told you guys last time, just like I did about Cannonball Run. I had my wife, I put on the shopping cart for Amazon the Blu-ray of El Mariachi and Desperado because she already has Once Upon a Time in Mexico on DVD. So I said, well, I can just watch that wherever. So I bought that, watched El Mariachi from 1992. I forgot how good that fucking movie is, and it just kind of rolls along. Again, you got to read the subtitle. You don't have to. You could flip over to the audio dubbed. But it was good. I read it, and I love it. And then saw Desperado from 1995, and always loved that. That was so big. You know, when that came out, I was 24, and I'm like, oh my God, like this movie, like 1995, if I didn't say that. I'm just like, this is cool. This is right up my alley. Like, and then I had read his book already, Robert Rodriguez's book called Rebel Without a Crew, and he talked about how he made El Mariachi, sold his body to science, made $7,000, took that $7,000, went and made a movie called El Mariachi, was going to sell it to Mexican film distribution, like video, like direct-to-video, and make 3 films. And then that distributor in Mexico was like, this is too good. Like, you have to go somewhere else. So then he ended up in a bidding war, and Colombia ended up getting it. Like, oh, so cool. And then he made Desperado for $10 million, so that was cool. Then I saw a movie from 1986 that I had never seen. I had always heard of, had never seen, called Black Moon Rising with Tommy Lee Jones and Linda Hamilton. And this movie I had on my Amazon Prime for a while. And recently I was thinking, what should I do next on the next show before I go into GoldenEye? And I thought, oh, I'll do like The Government Made Me Do It, like where people have to steal shit. So like I'll do Firefox and I'll do Black Moon Rising because I knew that he has to steal something for the government. And this was a really good movie. It's directed really well. It's a good little solid little film. It's a little cheesy, a little dated in some spots, but it was good. I loved it. So check it out. It's Amazon Prime. Then I saw a movie that I just saw. Sometimes don't judge a book by a cover. No, sometimes you do that. That's how people buy shit. So you see the little art of, I did, William Shatner on Amazon Prime. And I'm like, William Shatner got like headphones on. He's talking in this mic. And I'm like, what's going on? And I look, and it's called The Kidnapping of the President. And it's from 1980. And he plays a Secret Service guy. Hal Holbrook is the president. And this guy who's a really good fucking bad guy And I looked him up, and he's been in other things, but who he reminded me of was the guy from Just Shoot Me and Galaxy Quest. He reminded me of that guy, but he's a bad guy, and they basically put the president they hold him at gunpoint during he's getting out of the car to meet people, grab him at gunpoint. The guy's got a vest full of dynamite. The guy takes him, puts him in an armored car, closes it, locks it. If you try to get into the armored car, it will blow up. I am not the only one with the detonator. Somebody else has a second switch. Don't fuck with it. So all of a sudden, holy shit, like they're at a stalemate. They're even having the guy up, like, hey, what do we do? Well, give me a room. So they put him in a room, in a hotel room, and every once in a while he has to open the windows and the drapes and like flip them around to make the person, this woman that he's with, to make her see him do that. So it's really cool because you're like, how are they going to get out of that? And it's really neat. I liked it. I didn't much care. I wish the ending would have been a little different, but it wasn't. But still, it was fun. I liked it. So then, I only got 2 left, guys. Don't worry. Wake up, everybody. Wake in Fright, speaking of wake up, from 1971. So I start watching this Australian movie, and I had heard, like, this is one of those, like, you got to see. Like, it's really good. It's even on the list of 1,001 movies you must see before you die. So I was like, oh. So I put it on my Amazon Prime list, and I go to watch it, and I'm watching it, and I get to and as I'm watching, I'm going, this kind of seems familiar, but maybe I've only seen clips. I don't know. Have I seen this movie? And I can't figure it out. Sorry, everybody. Dramatic pause. So then I get to this part where they're hunting kangaroos. And they're killing these kangaroos. And it's showing them shoot. And then it would cut to a kangaroo being shot and fall over. Then a guy goes up, grabs a kangaroo, and is like pulling on its leg. And he slits its throat. And it's a fake kangaroo. But the other stuff that they're showing on this hunt, when they're shooting at these kangaroo or hitting them with a car, is actually happening. And I remember at that, I was like, I can't finish this. And I turned it off because I was like, this is too weird and I don't like it. And I saw Cannibal Holocaust, which had them killing animals. And I didn't like that, but I stuck with it through the thing and read the history. And at least they took the animal and fed it to the tribe in whatever country they were in. But this one was just like, oof. And then I went ahead and finished it. It was kind of weird. And I don't know why it's on that 1,001 movies you must see before you die. Maybe because it's just weird. Like, the school teacher goes to a town, and he's on his way to Sydney. But he stops in this town overnight, ends up having some drinks, ends up betting on this game, ends up losing all of his money. Now he's kind of stuck in the town. Then he meets Donald Pleasance. And so if you want to see this movie for a really great Donald Pleasance performance, you should. Like, check it out. Like, it's great. It's great for that reason. It's great for a reason that it's an Australian movie. It's great for a reason that it's kind of weird. It's great for a reason that this guy reminds you of Peter O'Toole, the main guy. But it wasn't, I was just like, I was sad that I wasted kind of 2 hours of my life, especially like probably another hour and a half or whatever of my life, because I had seen it already. And then I was like, fuck. So anyway, so basically, I guess what I'm saying is, skip it. But Donald Pleasance is really great. But anyway, Palm Springs from 2020. I just saw that last night. That's fucking great. I didn't know I would love that so much. So thank you, anybody who listens to the podcast. Go check out Movie Chatter podcast. They're, Dave and now I want to say Don. Yeah, I think Dave and Don. Now, if I got that wrong, Dave, you tell me. You yell at me on your show. Dave, Don, and Kelly, and they talk movies. And sometimes they have Bill on, and it's fun. They just talk about what they've been watching. It's more newer stuff, not like me, fucking 1986 movie. Sometimes they rewatch stuff. But anyway, they'll talk about that, newest things that they watch on Netflix. Is it worth continuing? Is it not? All that stuff. So we're thinking of doing like a cross-promotion type thing. Like maybe I'll put a commercial on their show. Maybe they'll put one on mine, whatever. Who knows? We'll see. And maybe sometime when things die down, Dave will be on my show. Dave's the one who sent me the, Moonraker stuff. So I'm eternally grateful to him. So thank you, Dave. And now I'm going to play the show finally. And there are 6 small audio glitches that happened during our recording on Zoom because my internet sucks. Because I'm 2 rooms away from the master bedroom. And the master bedroom is where the internet is, where everybody's yelling at me what it is. Yeah, I know what it is. And I can't think of it. Anyway, the internet connection, the whole internet thing, the little thing is there. I almost had it. Anyway, everybody's yelling at me. That's fine. So I was going to get one of those nesty things, the thing that holds your internet. I could put it in here in this room. Or I'm thinking of moving the internet to the room next to me. Then it'll be between me and the master bedroom. And maybe that'll work better. But anyway, so he recorded it on his for both ends because he has a better recording system. He has a whole soundboard and everything. And so he did that, and then he sent it to me. So there were a couple things where I fade out, where I'm glitchy. But you can understand what I'm saying. You can get it. So everybody, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry that this show is so long. But I enjoy telling you what I've been watching because a lot of times it's some great stuff. And if I'm watching too much, let me know, and I'll try to dwindle it down to just the good stuff. But some of that I find good in everything, as you know. Anyway, so now here's me and Joe Merle, like I said, from Those Movie Guys podcast. Check out Those Movie Guys. They're down. They got 9 shows left, and then they're done. At number 250, they're going to be done completely. So that's the Joe Merle that I always talk about. He did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Ed Gein episode with me. We did the Christmas episode last Christmas. So it's very fun. And on here, he talks about how he really hopes that the movie theaters open soon and that Halloween Kills will not be pushed back because it's supposed to be released October 21st, 2020. And after we recorded, a couple days after that, was when they postponed Halloween Kills to be released October 21st, 2021. And then Halloween Ends October 21st, 2022. So anyway, so everybody, thank you for listening. And now here's the show. And let me know if there's anything that I missed or anything that you want to tell me. Just do it. All right? Okay. Everyone have a good day. Wear your mask. Be safe. Thank you. I realized with this movie, I Saw the Devil, that it's like if you took Mills from Seven and killed his wife right away, John Doe killed his wife right away, that's the movie you'd have.
Right.
Is I Saw the Devil.
Be
Although
very
Mills didn't seem like he had the will to fucking, to keep it. He'd kill him right away anyway. But this movie, on my notes, the first thing I took my notes just from what I wrote last time when we were going to do it years ago. First time I watched the movie.
I was thinking about this whole process and us getting to this point, and I was like, this is a lot like, without it being public knowledge, it feels like New Mutants. Like it just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed, and nobody knew if it was ever going to fucking happen. I think we talked about it like 2 years ago. Is this ever going to be a real thing?
It was when we were talking about like Criterion and all that. But you had told me to see this. I Saw the Devil movie, and I was like, okay. And I go to watch it, and I was blown away. It's one of those movies like that, Time Crimes, certain movies that just stick with you because they're so unique. And that was one, and Greasy Strangler. And I was just like, holy shit, like fucking great. And you can't even explain it. Like, and that it's a foreign movie and that nobody likes to watch foreign movies. There's a lot of, I was telling a guy last night, I'm talking to this guy at work. I said, hey man, have you you ever seen Train to Busan? He's like, no, I haven't. I said, oh yeah, you should check it out. I said, it's a zombie movie on a train. It's really cool. I go, it's Korean. You have to read subtitles. Nope. I don't read movies because then I'll miss something. Then I got to rewind. Like, no, forget it. And
That
I'm
always
like,
always
man.
amazed me, man. It always amazes me that there are, but then for someone like you or I, and I'm not saying you and I are movie connoisseurs or some kind of great knowledge banks about movies or some shit like that. But there are people I feel who do just want to passively watch a movie. They don't want anything to do with, even after the movie's over. It's like, yeah, that was good, and move on with your day. Where it's not like you're thinking about it 3 days later, like that fucking Vanishing movie I watched.
Yeah.
And forever after the fact, I'm like, fuck, what the fuck was that? Like, why did they do that to me? And there is a segment of moviegoers who just, they, want to sit down and be entertained, and that's okay too. And I feel like the people who don't like to read the subtitles tend to, not always, but tend to fall into that camp, because subtitles can be tricky because you might be missing something on the screen while you're reading, especially, some subtitles just come so fast where you really are just reading it. There's not a lot of time to enjoy, but then you go back a second time, watch it again, and maybe look at it from a different angle. But like you, I know a lot of people who, as soon as you say subtitles, are like, I'm the fuck out. Like, I'm, And then my heart breaks. I'm like, you don't realize how many amazing movies you're missing out on. There's
like
many good movies.
When I wrote you yesterday and said, is this dubbed anywhere, like either one of these? Because I want to have the wife watch it, because I'm watching Train to Busan and I'm like, we liked Walking Dead until they got to Terminus, and then we were like, we stopped watching it, and then we were like, they haven't finished yet. Like, we're not even gonna finish it. But I said, oh, she'll love it. Like, when they come through the glass, we'll get to that later. They come through the glass on top of the train. I'm like, oh my God, my wife would fucking love this. And then watching, I was thinking about this too. And we're loosey-goosey on this show today, guys. I was thinking about this, where me and the wife love like watching Dateline and those kind of things. And I agree with you, where like, you don't want to be like, oh yeah, Ted Bundy is so great. Like, look how great he was. No, he's a piece of shit. And, which reminds me of something that I want to apologize to you from before I knew you really, and you were on my show. And the first thing I said, which I thought, oh, this will get a laugh. I'll tell Joe Merle that I see his house like Texas Chainsaw. Gein made some nice shit. And you were like, Ed Gein was a piece of shit and, fucked up in the head. I'm not Ed Gein. And I was like, oh, okay. And forever, I was always like, oh my God, I said that funny. And he's like, no, fuck that.
No,
and then something else. No, I know.
Yeah,
but
a lot of that. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say something else that was funny on the Moonraker episode. I go, yeah, like this guy, Hugo Drax, he's like an adult Peter Dinklage. And you're like, you're a fucking asshole, or you're a fucking idiot.
I didn't think you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. And my friend goes, oh my God, like if I said that to you, it'd come off in a different way. But when he said it, it was just like, you fucking idiot.
Right. Yeah, no, I knew exactly what you meant when you said that one. It was just so fucking funny the way that you said it. Like, he's fucking. It's like an adult Peter Dinklage. The dude's like 43 years old. It's like an adult Peter Dinklage.
Exactly.
Man, good times.
But no, that's the thing. When I tell my wife, like, I'm like, honey, you want to? Like, I was watching like recently after the Police Story episode. She was like, why are you always watching your boyfriend now? Like Jackie Chan. I was like, well, I haven't seen Fearless Hyena. I haven't seen Young Master. I want to watch these. And then the other day I'm watching Crime Story was on TV. And she's like, you're watching him again? And I'm like, what's on Pluto? It's on the, the Kung Fu thing. And except he didn't even dub his voice in that movie.
Somebody else
on
dubbed
that
him?
one. Yeah. And it was like really weird. It was like, oh, okay. But I watch it. And then the new Police Story, I think, was the same way. It was somebody else dubbed.
Yeah.
Maybe he dubbed himself on Crime Story, not on the new Police Story. But anyway. But yeah, I talked to friends of mine who I'm like that French movie that I'm trying to tell everybody, go see Elevator at the Gallows.
Yeah,
Elevator
I still need to check that out. Yeah.
And they're like, no.
There's just
French,
so much in.
No thanks.
I'm fortunate in that Shayna doesn't care at all. So I introduced her to I Saw the Devil when it was a classic pick of the week a few months back, and then she watched for her first time seeing I Saw the Devil. And then last night we watched Train to Busan together.
Cool.
And she's super into it, man. Then I showed her the trailer for Peninsula, and I don't know though if she will. She might. She watches some of she's watched some of the Resident Evil CGI movies with me, but we've never really watched a lot of full anime together. But I wanted her to check out Seoul Station, the prequel to Train to Busan.
Yeah, I was gonna watch that, and then I was like, I thought it was a short. And then I go, oh, it's an hour and a half. I can't make Joe wait another hour and a half while I watch that. So I'll watch that before Peninsula.
I think that one's on Tubi right now. So you can check it out there for free.
It's on, where did I find it? Yeah, it might be somewhere I found it. Yes. So I guess we'll get into the movie or whatever. Like I said. So here's the thing, like I said, where Brant, I was telling you off mic or whatever, that my friend said, you don't need to read everything, because he said, when I'm in the radio, when he was doing radio, he said, I had training of like, you read it out loud enough to where then it's natural. And when you read an ad, it seems natural.
Right.
And he goes, but you're still like reading it. He goes, you got a good radio voice, but you're, and I was like, no, I agree. I said, it always slows me down when I'm reading it. So that's why now I'm like, no, I'm going to go back to, I can get more of the passion out when I'm just like, oh my God, and this and this. And when I take my notes, sometimes they're too detailed. I'm like, oh, and then when this and this. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of my notes, anyway. I just put like two words that will spark the memory. And I'm like, okay, like this or this. And for this one, I didn't write down any notes. This is one of the first times I'm just going straight from the hip. But, Train to Busan being fresh last night, and then I Saw the Devil I've seen many times over again, and it's one that I just keep telling people to watch whenever I know somebody will enjoy it, because it is not a light movie by any means. It's not light watching where you go into it and it's like, oh, we'll just have a good time watching a movie. No, this movie's gonna beat you over the fucking head and then spit in your face when it's done.
That reminds me now where I was getting at with the serial killer stuff. So you could like something like Dateline and all that, but when we watch Dateline, you're more like, oh my God, this guy's an idiot. He got caught because he left a cigarette butt in the toilet and they fucking ran the DNA. But this is like, you're seeing the killing right there. Like, that first one. First, I'll tell you what the movie's about. I Saw the Devil 2010. A secret agent exacts revenge on a serial killer through a series of captures and releases. And I was going to name all these names, but I think that I would butcher them all.
Yeah, so, I think the big one is just Ji Woon Kim directed it and wrote it. And Hong Joo Park helped him with the screenplay, which is another one who's, I think that's an important name too. And the one guy, the main actor, what is his name?
Young Hun Lee as Kim Soo Hyun. Yeah.
No. Sorry, not him. The older
the main
guy.
bad guy.
Yeah,
the main bad
Boy.
guy.
Yeah.
Min Sik Choi.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, well, and what's funny is because I only saw this movie once, now I've seen it twice, I was like, is that the same guy from Train to Busan? Because they're both kind of bigger, heavier, kind of, and I was like, no,
he's older. The guy in Train to Busan's, it's a bit younger, but now this is, and both of these movies come out of South Korea, and I don't think I've seen a movie out of South Korea yet. Now, it could be that we really only see the big shit. You know what I mean? The stuff that they know is going to be globally monetizable, if that's even a word, but the stuff they know is going to be a huge success. But man, they are making movies in South Korea. Watching that, I don't know if you ever got a chance to watch that Kung Fu Cinema documentary. But when they were talking about, I think they were talking about Jackie Chan and those guys in the early days, and he's like, we didn't have stunt people. There were no rules and regulations. I feel like in South Korea, they're just out there doing some crazy shit. Like, put a fucking human being on the side of a car. Fuck it. Just go.
Yeah.
Just go for it.
And that's where on my last show, I talked about Housemaid from 1960.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking, but also like even Japan, like Houseu that you talked about that you got me onto, like crazy. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, so weird. Let me get back to this first. These are the notes that I have to read. Horror website Bloody Disgusting gave it a 4.5 out of 5 rating and stated I could talk for hours about I Saw the Devil, but nothing I can say will ever do it justice. The film is an experience. It's something that will have you emotionally invested in the characters while also covering your eyes at the extreme violence.
And the
then
violence is extreme.
Yeah. And the last fact that I have, because I didn't put a lot of facts in this show, so sorry, everyone. Arnold Schwarzenegger was so impressed with this film, that's why he got the guy to direct The Last Stand.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I was like, holy shit, this guy directed The Last Stand. Like, that's so weird.
And it's hard for me. I mean, I don't know Arnie or anything like that, but it's hard for me to picture him, sitting down to watch this South Korean movie.
Yeah. And be like, this is good.
Right,
And not like
this
oh
is
my
great.
God, this is frightening. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we
Somebody
do
likes-
have, I guess before we go any further, it is important to note that they are working on a English language remake of this thing that really hurts my heart. I don't know why, man. Why did they do it to Old Boy?
It's Old Boy. It's what was the Departed? What was that?
Internal Affairs.
Infernal Affairs.
Or Infernal Affairs, yeah.
Infernal Affairs, like all those that they try to redo, A Better Tomorrow, like leave it alone. Like John Woo did it good, like leave it. But it's just, sometimes it's the same thing that you and I run into. Well, at least maybe somebody will see it.
Right.
But if it's horrible, are they going to go, yeah, I want to see the original? Or are they going to go, oh, it must be horrible?
And Old Boy being the most, such a fucking chop job on that remake. That movie is so good. But yeah, with this one, I mean, I'm interested. I will watch it. I always watch it. But am I going to be happy about it? Probably not. Because we're a different audience in the States, and they always feel the need to put a happy ending on things or wrap it up. Even with The Vanishing, I haven't seen the remake, but I was talking to Jay Bird about it when I saw the original, and he's like, yeah, at the ending of the Jeff Bridges and somebody else,
and I forget the other guy, but
Jeff. But at the end of that one, it's like a happy ending where the girlfriend shows up and saves the day. And I'm like, that ruins the whole, like everything about that ending and that punch of that movie. It takes it all away, and you just can't. And I don't know if there's a lot of people in the States who are ready for if a movie like Old Boy was to be remade frame for frame. What the fuck? He was fucking his kid. Like, what is going on? Like, this is too much. You'd have rights activist people everywhere screaming.
Yeah, and that's where this movie, it's like you said, it's like, here's something good that you said the other day. I said, can you the general? And you were like, I can't say anything more of what you said. Like, you put it perfectly. Like, it's a great movie. And it's like, okay. And thank you, by the way. And I did write on here when I first took these notes, it said, thank you for picking this movie. So that you made me watch this movie.
Yeah, it's one that I've told a lot of people to watch, especially if it's somebody I know who really likes movies. I'm like, you got to watch this shit.
But it's the thing with the hammer, and this is what people don't understand about like sound design in films. Like you and I talked about, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like that hammer is probably rubber. Yeah, whatever. But when it lands in the bucket, it makes a hammer sound in a bucket, and you're like, holy fuck, like they're trying to hit her in the head, and old man keeps missing. And on this, like right away, like she turns on the headlights, and boom, there he is, fucking busting the window in, and then just gets in and starts hitting her with a hammer, and you're like, there's no like, I'm gonna take you to my dungeon, I'm gonna torture you, I'm gonna beat you with a hammer till you're unconscious.
And there's no other sound as well is a big thing. In a lot of action and a lot of horror movies, you get this big kind of swelling to a crescendo of this noise that comes with it where something's coming. This is just a human being getting hit in the fucking head with a hammer, and it's terrible. It reminds me of that Nick Cage movie that I did the episode with Petros, Joe, where you have that scene where he's trying to get that bottle of booze from that bum, where he's down by the water with him, and he picks up that thing and and there's nothing else there, and it's like, it's just raw. It's like dirty and in your face, and in this, and he does such a good job. If I saw him on the street, I would probably walk to the other side of the street. This is a Nurse Ratched situation where it would be hard for me to separate those two things. Like, you are evil. I don't care how nice you are. I could see you like, working at an orphanage, feeding puppies on the street, but I'm still going to keep my distance because he plays that incredibly well.
I was telling my friend the other day about Joe Pantoliano was in New York during Sopranos. He's in New York walking around. Some lady stops him spits on him, starts yelling at him because of what he did to Tony or something. And he's like, what? It's a character I play. It's like, it's like the story was the guy that was the rapist in Thelma and Louise. He had a hard time getting a job after that because he was the guy that tried to rape her on the back of the car. Like,
right.
It's like,
it's hard for people to pull that apart. The same thing with the hitchhiker in Chainsaw. I've seen him interviewed, and he's like, I couldn't get anything after.
Yeah,
because they all just saw me as this lunatic, this crazed person. Yeah, and there's, I mean, it happens to people all the time. James, or not James Whale, but Todd Browning with Freaks, put him under.
Yeah,
Peeping Tom, those guys were fucking done. I mean, the world just wasn't ready. And
this a little bit, I was thinking of Peeping Tom because this is kind of what Peeping Tom would have been back then. Like it's so visceral and violent, even though that one wasn't as violent, but it was fucked up of, I'm going to videotape you while I stab you with the tripod.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Well, and I think some with Peeping Tom, more than this, is it forced the audience to, in some instances, reflect on their own involvement in participating in this movie. So am I sick for sitting here watching it? And I think, critics and everybody alike, now we live in a world where you can make just about fucking anything and it's okay. At least in the States you can. I know for poor Josh, he doesn't get a lot of great movies because everything is banned. But, Peeping Tom really did put people in this position that I think made them feel like, why am I even watching this to begin with? Am I somehow a participant in these? In these acts.
Yeah. So it was 1960, so it was.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was a very different world.
But one of the greatest things, after he takes her back to the thing, and like I said, we're not going to try to walk through it, but I'm reading my notes from before when I first watched it, so those are the best because.
Yeah, we'll just do like a highlight reel because there is stuff I want to talk about in this movie for sure.
When she's like, "Don't kill me," she goes, "I'm pregnant," and he pauses for like a little bit, and he's looking at her, and then he just starts whacking, and you're like, holy shit, like, and she's dead. Like, it's not, it's not your main hero. It's not, it's just, she just dead.
This movie, the first time I saw this, and it probably was back around, 2010, 2011 or 12, most likely when it released on DVD, because I know I didn't see it in the theater. But when I saw it the first time, that scene right there was when I was like, I'm in for something. Something's going to happen in this movie because I was like, this is fucking crazy. Because you always expect in a movie, I'm pregnant, please don't kill me. He doesn't even lose his face. Like, his face just stays stoic. Like, this is just who I am. And then throughout the course of the movie, we learn just how vile he is as a human being.
Yeah. He's feeling her arm, like right where, like the joint, like, I think I got to cut it right here.
Right.
And you're just like, holy shit. But he's so good in it. And then when the boyfriend then goes to get revenge and he goes after there's 4 guys on the list that might have done it. And they give him 2 weeks vacation because it was his girlfriend.
I think I think it was his fiance. I think they were going to be married.
Yeah.
And he didn't, I don't think he knew that she was pregnant though, because that comes up later as a plot point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is even more fucked up. But he's a badass though. We gotta preface it with he's like a Secret Service, really fucking highly trained. To me, this is like Taken on steroids. Like it's just like Taken, except we get a dead body right at the beginning and just take Taken to the next. Turn Taken up to 11, and you've got I Saw the Devil.
Yeah. If he was still married to Famke Jensen and she got killed, that's what you get. But hitting that guy with the pipe wrench, like in the dick, in the balls, and it's like, oh my God, like those are things where normally in an American movie they would cut away and you would have
the sound,
the guy doing the motion of the whacking and the guy screaming. This just cuts to the guy's underwear with a dick in it, and he's hitting it, and you're like
beating him,
and it makes you squirm and like, and that it's okay. That's probably a dummy leg, a dummy whatever, but you're just like, oh, ow, ooh, ow.
Yeah, there's only one scene. Every time I see that, it fucking hurts. But there's only one movie that I think does it, that sort of pain the best, and it's Casino Royale. That is, that balls through a chair
Yeah.
And
With the knotted rope.
Right. And I read the book not long ago, and it was the same thing. I was like, man, that was, and especially because he wrote that how long ago? And it was crazy. I mean, I guess it was kind of
in the 50s.
Yeah, it was kind of coming out of the pulp era, so some of that stuff was probably still lingering before everybody got so morally pure and upstanding. But yeah. Just whacking Daniel Craig. I mean, nuts through a hole in a chair.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man. But this one, that poor guy, he's just sitting there trying to rub one out, and then all hell breaks loose in his apartment. He fucked that dude up.
And big time. And then that guy turns himself in. It's like, here's what I've done. I've done all this stuff. And then when he picks up that girl at the bus stop, and she's like hesitant, and then she's like, okay, and she gets in the van with him, and she's looking around, and he's looking for something, and you're like, something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. And then and you're thinking he's gonna attack, but he doesn't attack just then. He puts a pipe in between them and just sets it there. Yeah. And that fucking says volumes. Like, forget about hitting me. Like, I'm just
terrified.
As a victim, your head is just rushing with like, what's going to happen now? And as a viewer, you're thinking the same thing. You're like, oh my God.
Like, is he going to do it? And they just build this guy up to be such a monster. And he even says it and accepts it throughout it. There's no moral conflict in him throughout this movie. He's 100%. I just like to rape and kill people. That's just what I do. There's nothing else there. It's not one of those kind of anti, hero or anti-villain, whatever you want to call it. This guy is a fucking monster.
Yeah. He's just, he's pure evil. And the part that I like more is a filmmaking thing, whatever. And maybe it's me with missing shots, just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where he misses her head. But it's on here where he goes to hit her with the pipe 3 times, but he misses that second time.
Yeah.
Because she like rears back, and you're just like, oh, like it just seems real. Like you seem like you're right there, and it's like, holy shit. Like, and then takes her back, and then same thing. Like she wakes up, and then boom, chops her head off.
Right.
Like, holy shit.
And then he just cleans everything up, sweeps all the blood away, does what he's got to do, and just continues on. And now we didn't establish that up until this point. We do know that he has a family, like a kid. Yeah, he's got a kid and some other people, but even they know that something's not right. Yeah,
he's left his boy for his parents, and it's like, why are you talking about him when the agent's trying to question him?
Right.
And he's like, question the mom. And the mom's like, no. And he's like, why defend her? Why defend him? Don't defend him. And it's like, but he's my son, and it's like, and the son seems like he kind of likes his dad still. He's still young enough to be like,
naive.
Dad's okay, but he does tell him where his dad is. Yeah. But then the agent finds like the purse and all that stuff. And then in the school bus, when all the girls get in the school bus and the camera pans over and it's him driving. And you're like, oh shit, is he taking all of them?
Right.
Like, what's going? And you're like, oh, this is a job. Okay. And then there's that one girl who falls asleep, and she's in there, and he just takes her, and you're like, holy shit. And then that's when, and then the hero shows up in the whatever.
They're in like a greenhouse of some sorts. Yeah. They're in this greenhouse, and he's going to rape this girl. Our villain's going to rape this girl, and it's, very traumatic. And then all of a sudden he clicks the lights on, right? Didn't he turn the lights on, and then we just see this shadow figure?
The bad guy did. Yeah, the bad guy turns, and they...
Yeah, all the way down. And we just see this shadow figure dressed in like a motorcycle jacket, all looking badass. Like, it really is a badass image to see this dude there. And then he just commences on to whip his ass. I mean, whips his ass always, we didn't, I guess it's not really that important, but he does have a GPS tracker with a small, like a tablet tracker.
Yeah,
so
capsule.
He beats the fuck out of him, shoves it down his mouth, holds his nose shut so he's got to swallow, and then he swallows this thing, and his buddy who got it for him had told him, unless he has diarrhea or something like that, it's going to, stay in there. Or maybe he didn't say that because he overhears them, and that's when he takes the laxatives.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. I think he did say something like that,
Yeah.
unless he has diarrhea. And then later he took the,
Yeah, so
But-
he beats the fuck out of him, puts a tracker in him, and then leaves a bunch of money on his chest. And helps the girl, though. The girl, she
and
gets
breaks
away.
his wrist.
Right, and breaks his wrist. And this is great martial arts as well. This is as much a action movie as it is a serial killer movie.
And what I love about it that I was really thinking is with those bad guys, with these killers who are real, there's real murderers out there, when they have their places like that, that's where they feel manly and heroic. And that's how he felt. And his agent fucking feeding him his ass. And he was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, awesome, because he turned the tables on him and,
And I've never seen a movie like this. I've never, and since then I've never seen one like this, where this guy beats his ass and then lets him go, and now he's going to continue to follow him, show up every couple of days, fucking beat his ass, and then take off again.
Yeah,
knock him out cold.
Yeah, it's just so good, and fuck him up, and so good. And let me see, what did I write? Wakes up, and now he's slowly following him, and then he gets in that cab with the cab driver and the passenger.
Ooh.
And that cab driver's keeps saying man, you sure are lucky. Hey, mister, keeps saying it. And the guy's like, no. And you're going, oh, fuck. He's going to snap right now. He's going to go off on this guy. And he starts attacking the driver. And then the guy behind him is pulling a knife out the passenger. And you're thinking, is the passenger going to rob this cab?
Yeah.
And then later you realize, no, they're both fuckers. And, but what I wrote here on my note was I haven't seen in-car fight like that since City of Men. Well, City of Men was a fight outside.
Yeah.
The camera went all through the thing. But, and Raid Redemption. That fight in the car is the best fight ever of any fight.
And this is a really close second. When I saw this the first time, the speed at which he was stabbing that dude. And I mean, and then he'll move and start stabbing the guy in the back, and then he's stabbing the guy in the front again, and the car's all over the road, vroom, going everywhere.
Yeah, and he doesn't care.
No,
he's just, I'm going to kill you fuckers because you annoy me.
Right.
Yeah.
No regard for his own well-being. He just doesn't care. He has no conscience whatsoever. He's just going to murder these dudes. But that scene was so much of this movie was so well shot. But that scene, sometimes you step back and you're like, how the fuck did they accomplish that? Because it really is. I mean, the editing was just spot on. The camera work, everything was spot on. And the action. Yeah, it was. And then he gets out and he sees that these two had killed the cab driver and his body was in the trunk. And then he's like, you fucking idiots. Or he makes some kind of stupid joke,
bastards or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then leaves all three of the bodies there on the side of the road. And then goes to the doctor, and that's when the doctor's like, you should be, because he's wearing one of the soccer shirts he found.
Yeah,
The doctor's like, shouldn't really play soccer so rough. If you're going to break a wrist, how'd you break a wrist? And he's like, shut the fuck up. You're an annoying little man.
You know what, though? That's a tense moment. When he's looking at him and he's like, your stupid fucking glasses, you fucking old piece of shit. And I mean, and that's not just me paraphrasing. He uses a lot of those words exactly. You fucking old fuck.
He's like, take your glasses off.
Yeah.
And the man won't do it. And he goes to reach for the glass and the man backs up. And right then the woman comes in. But what's cool about that also is now the agent has already talked to the parents. And now that he hates his parents because they're older and they're always probably trying to run his life. And he's like, fuck you, I'm out. And so good. That whole doctor scene, then he's asking the woman's never been with a boy. She's 22 years old.
Yeah.
And he has her take off her clothes, and then he's going to do something. Well, he's doing something. And then all of a sudden the guy comes in through the back door,
right?
And he just sneaks up there and fucking hits him with a fire extinguisher. And you're like, holy shit. Right. And then, I don't want to tell you what happens then, but then there's really gruesome that made me just fucking tighten up. Oh, fuck. Oh, so bad.
Yeah, and the whole time all this is going on, you've got our hero, his fiance who had died. Her dad is chief of police.
Yeah,
or former chief, just retired or something like that.
I think so. Yeah, and then that other guy is a new one,
right?
But knows him. Yeah,
right. So you have this other storyline kind of going along. They know what he's doing, but nobody's really confronting him because I think they wanted the revenge just as much as he did for what had happened to his daughter. He's like, then eventually he's like, I can't help anymore. Like I'm done. And then things escalate even further. But before we get there, you got the house with the cannibal, which completely caught me off guard the first time I saw this movie. I'm like, wait, what? Like,
yeah,
now-
when I first saw it, when he was first eating, I go, is he eating like stewed tomatoes? Like, I
Yeah.
think that's what he's eating. And then the guy goes, you like eating that shit? And then it's like,
he's eating people.
Oh, it's meat. He's
Yeah.
eating people. And then he opens the freezer and there's like body parts in there, and you're like, holy shit. And hang on, the other killer eats his victims. And then there's that cool fight in the apartment. Well, he stabs a guy in the hand. That's the thing where, like you said, where usually a crescendo will happen. So there's this operatic music playing that you think is on the soundtrack,
Yeah.
and then the music stops, and he looks over at his stereo when he's about to kill this girl, and the stereo's off. So he goes over and he's messing with it, and you're waiting for some attack to happen, and then all of a sudden the radio comes back on, and he plays the song again, and he turns around to walk away, and the girl's gone. And now he gets attacked. And
Right.
you're like, holy shit. And gets his hands stabbed onto the ground, onto the table. And
then did he tie his thing around his
strung
neck?
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He strings him up by
tied
the
the
neck.
thing that he had on her and does it around. And then he's getting ready to chop his hand or his fingers off. And then the other guy comes in with the shotgun.
Right.
Ugh.
And then we have this huge fight in this fucking mansion out in the woods, which the cannibal and his girlfriend had killed the people who lived there, and they were just kind of squatting in the place. This big,
'cause
beautiful manor.
He was yelling at that lady, like, why did you have to go? We weren't trying to steal your house. We weren't trying to do this. But
Yeah.
you had to be rude. She's like, I'm sorry. He said, you should apologize before.
Right.
But now it's too late. Yeah. And then
And he even
beats and
has,
kill-
though, there's that conversation between the cannibal and our primary killer where he says something to him that's a little out of line. And it was real tense,
Yeah.
where he
Yeah,
looks at him and he's like, know your fucking place in this world. Like,
yeah,
you,
he tells the cannibal, like, you're crazy. And
Right.
you're crazy, whatever. And he goes, what'd you say to me?
yeah.
And then that's when he's like, you need to understand who's the alpha male here.
Right.
That's me. And then the guy starts crying because it's so tense. He's one of those
Right.
people that just start crying.
Yeah, it
And
was
he's
good.
like, why do I cry when this happens? But then again, and that's where you see like this killer, when he kills the women, he's all the boss, but then this agent can beat the shit out of him. But then when with this guy, he's all, being afraid of this guy. But then when he's talking to the girl, he's going to cut her hands off and cut her feet off. And it's just, so good. And I think that's what I had there. And then that girlfriend tries to attack him.
Right.
She comes and he punches her like twice and throws the fucking hooks for fishing
Right.
like, out there. And the guy doesn't see it, our main killer, and he's walking with his shotgun. And I was waiting for it, like that scene in Iron Flux when there's a nail out of the stairs. And she's walking up on the cartoon. She's walking up the stairs and she stepped on the nail and she couldn't say anything because she's trying to kill somebody. And you're like, holy shit. It was just and then he just beats a guy like almost to death. Like he's just beating him in the head, blood squirting out of his head. And
I mean,
kills
that guy
the other
was,
guy.
he got fucked up throughout the course of this movie. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he really just beat him to almost nothing. And I can't remember how the cannibal guy gets to the hospital. I don't remember if he.
Because I think the cops show up. Because then it cuts to like the cops are at the house.
Oh yeah,
and they're
you're right.
wheeling them out, and they wheel her out, and then they wheel him out. But yeah, he had blood squirting out of his head when he hit him.
Right.
It was like, holy shit. But yeah, and then now the killer realizes that he's finding him somehow. He's checked all through his car and everything, and he realizes it's got to be a tracker. Oh yeah, he hears them. Like
He hears them talking. Yeah, he overhears them.
because the agent gets hurt and has to go to the hospital and get his buddy who gave him the tracker to help.
Right. That's
so they're
right.
both in the hospital getting doctored up, and the guy is supposedly unconscious, but the guy they gave him the tracker's like, oh yeah, is it still working? And then he realizes,
So he goes, fucking kills a pharmacist, takes a bunch
Yeah.
of laxatives and whatever he can get his hands on to flush his system out. And then he ends up in, the guy realizes what's going on and tries to catch up to him, but he doesn't get there in time. And then you just have that disgusting scene where he's sticking his hand in the diarrhea, like looking for the
fishes
tracker.
that out and beats up the cop and then feeds it to the cop.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, oh my
Oh,
God.
so gross. So gross.
And then the killer steals the cop's car and permanent smiley face.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, where he's taught, he goes back. The agent goes to the guy, to the
The
cannibal,
cannibal. Yeah.
and is like, "Where's your friend?" And then and it's one of those where, I talked about on King Kong. Even though it's King Kong, it's clay. I understand, but it's him pulling, like
Yeah.
just acting like he's pulling really hard, and you start thinking, how hard would it be to pull somebody's jaw all the
to
way
rip
open
the
to
flesh.
rip the flesh on the side? And it's like, holy shit. And that's what I love about King Kong, where he keeps trying to get in there, and then he finally fucking rips it open.
That's what I liked in the first Godzilla remake, the 2015. Didn't Godzilla fire breath right down into one of the I can't remember what those were called, because they were a new Godzilla villain, but just pulls the mouth open and fucking blew fire straight down.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But no, it was very like the Joker from The Dark Knight, how you would think he ripped, all the way up.
It was one of those, again, where an American movie would just show the guy, like,
right.
He would say something smart, and he would pull on you would see his hands in the mouth, and then it would cut to the guy.
You might see like blurry face in
the
the background, something in the background as he's walking out of the room, be like, oh, that just happened. Whereas this just shows you.
Yeah.
Shows you what's
it shows some cuts going down, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah, it's and then Killer goes after the family of the hero's girlfriend. So he goes after the ex-chief and the daughter.
Right.
And in a brutal way. And the girlfriend's father, so you think the girlfriend's father's like dead. Like, I'm like, holy shit, like he's dead. But then he's barely alive. But I believe the sister dies. They show her laying on the side of the street, and he's like, we'll know later. Remember when he's like, you didn't hurt my daughter? And he's like, you'll learn later. But I think she died. I think he killed her.
And now the rest of the police force, though, is very against this dude. And I think that's one of the great things about this movie is, in order to finally stop this villain, he essentially becomes him. He's just he sees nothing but red. And it doesn't matter who's getting hurt along the way. He's helping people, like the girl that was going to be raped, and actually both girls that were going to be raped that he ended up helping out of situations. But for him, he doesn't see all of the collateral damage that's happening. He's almost becoming just like this killer that he's chasing.
Well, and it's the thing where they always say with revenge, you better dig 2 graves.
Right.
And like revenge doesn't do anything. Like that's why like people say don't be angry at people, because it does. It's like, what's the word? It's like pouring water on something.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a saying, like it's like doing something where it's futile.
Yeah.
It's like watering my phone. It does no good. Nobody knows my phone's fucked up now,
Right.
So, but yeah, that's where a lot of these revenge pictures, it's like, so I was thinking, so I have my wife, of course. If something happened to my wife, I'd be angry, but I'm also really like a laid back guy. My wife always makes a joke. If I died, you'd be like, oh, sad for maybe a day. And then you'd be like, what movie comes out tomorrow? Oh yeah, I'm going to go see that movie. And I said, no, honey, I'd be sad for 2 days. And then I'd go see a movie the third day. And so it's that thing of, if it's your family, you watch these movies, just like the zombie movies, you watch them because you're like, I would be this guy. Like, that would be me.
Yeah.
But then you also go, but would that be me? Would I go, okay, you always hear, let justice. And then they're like, oh yeah, the guy killed somebody. You have 15 years. 15 years, like my daughter's not alive anymore, or my sister, my mother. And so it's like, makes no sense. But revenge, I think, always does good in a movie. And I love revenge pictures because it makes you go, yes, get revenge.
You want to see that. Yeah. You want to see this sort of justice play out that we rarely get to see in life. You usually don't get to see this sort of thing play out. Even the crazy stuff like I Spit on Your Grave, or just Revenge from a few years ago was a really good one. It was on Shudder for a while, where this woman.
I saw that in the theater.
Oh, did you really? Nice. That was a good movie. It was a solid movie.
Yeah, it was cool.
But you get to see, somebody be redeemed in this way, but rarely does it ever happen that way. So it's kind of, or something like Taken. You even think about that. You want to see the happy ending, or you want to see some form of justice. And in movies like this, I think they do it really well in painting our villains so evil that you don't care. Like, kill this motherfucker. And in Train to Busan, we get something very similar that we'll talk about in a bit.
And more realistic for this revenge, where at the end, he's crying and he's sad.
He's broken
because the guy has basically told him, like, I've won because, I've done this. I've hurt the sister. I've hurt the father. You thought you won. I've won. And he's like, and he doesn't give a shit. He's just like, kill me.
Right. Well, I don't know so. that final.
But they're at the end. Yeah, they're at the end. He's like, don't open the door.
Right. Oh, please don't open the door.
But the killer, what I love though, is this part where you're like, oh, he's going to give himself up to the police, like Seven. And so he's waiting out there with the knife. He's got his hands up, and you see the agent pull up in his SUV. He opens his door, and he's like a block away, and he backs up, knocks the door off, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna take him. He's gonna pull a wanted and fucking just scoop him right up. And he does. He fucking drives right there and just grabs him, and he's dragging him along, and he's like, and then takes him to that warehouse,
which is a great chase scene too. Like the chase scene in this thing was really well done. I love a really good car chase scene. Mm-hmm. It's hard to do without a ton of CGI and without making it look, realistic. And I feel like in this one they nailed it. It was a real solid chase.
Well,
scene.
And that's probably where, like you said, it was Korea, and they just go. They're probably like some people in the when they used to do the indie films in the '60s in New York. They'd just be like, we don't have a thing like this, just film it. Or the one I explained about the Peter Bogdanovich doing targets with where he was sniped. They had a sniper shooting people on the freeway in the movie, so all he had was people with radios, and he would go bang, and that person would and they'd drive off the side of the road, and then he'd go bang, and then the second person drive off. Third person, he said bang, they pulled off the side of the road, they got out, they're wandering around almost in the traffic. And then he goes bang again, and they fall down. And now people start calling the police. They're pulling over, they're calling. And then they go, grab up everything. We got to go.
We got to get out of here.
Yeah. It's like, we have no.
Those guys were nuts, man. I mean, I sat and listened to Roger Corman talk with a good friend of mine up at a festival. And he was like, we'd be in the park, and then all of a sudden cops would show up, and he'd be like, just keep rolling, whatever. Yeah. If the cops are here, just keep, keep cranking the handle, keep putting film through. Why not?
And that was a Roger Corman movie.
Right.
He was just like, and that's why he was like, if you can put Boris Karloff in your movie and use part of The Terror,
do it.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, let me write a script about this retiring film actor. This is going to be his last movie. A really good movie, Targets. Yeah. You should check it out. And then just the very cool death scene where I won't give it away, but
is a powerful ending.
Yeah,
is a powerful.
It's powerful in showing that guy that the guy already knows now by this time, like, this did no good. I should have killed you a long time ago.
Right.
And still, it wouldn't have done any good,
Well, because doesn't he snap his phone as well while I thought he like broke his phone. Something happens, but he's broken. Like everything is just broken.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I don't remember if he did or not, but I just know that he's a broken human being. It did not give him the redemption he was seeking, but as an audience member, we're kind of like, I don't know how to feel about it right at the end, because that ending is so fucking good.
Yeah.
It really is so good.
But this is one where, like I said, that's why I put it with something like Time Crimes, because it's something so unique that I had heard about Time Crimes for so much time, and you're on those movie guys, and I'm going to get Phil on sometime, I swear. That's another one. For 2 years since I first started listening to you guys, and on the first show I listened to, or second, I heard Phil go, I love fucking time movies, like time travel.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking, I love time travel. We need to do a show. And so we're going to do Time Cop and Time Crimes. But Time Crimes is so unique.
Such
where
a
you
cool
just
movie.
You just go, holy shit. So, and then on the back here, my wife had this other idea. I was going to do small posters. My wife said, why not just do big posters and stick them up with 3M tape so I can put my Indian version of Road Warrior and all that up here, and buy some new ones, coffee and all that. And I got I swear I am going to send it. Cheerleader Switchblade Sisters. I'm going to send that to you. I got that poster.
Nice.
And the 3 from Hell little poster
the little
that
one,
I got.
The promotional deal. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but anyway, now on to Train to Busan from 2016. While a zombie virus breaks out in South Korea, passengers struggle to survive on the train from Seoul to Busan. So the only one you need to know, the only star of this movie is Soo-Ann Kim as Soo-Ann. So they use her same name, which is good. That's what you do with the story of Will Smith and Alfonso Ribeiro.
Right.
When they're out together, somebody will go, "Hey, Will," and you go, "Hey," and then they go, "Hey, Carlton," and he's like, "Fuck," and
Right.
Will's like, "Why didn't you name yourself Alfonso? Then we would have, So I named myself Will.
All of this.
Yeah. So it's like, oh fuck. But Sue Ann, and then the main guy, which, like I said, her father is great too, and I guess he's from TV. He was doing TV shows before this, and then but the main guy, that's the best character of all, is what's his name? Do you have his name there? I have names, so I don't have the name.
Sang-Hwa is who he played, is I think, but Dong
so
Seok Ma.
Dong Seok Ma.
Yeah, Seok
we'll
Ma.
call him Dong.
Dong.
The big Dong.
He's a big dude too.
Yeah.
Fucking tree trunks for arms, man.
And I think from what I read, he used to be a trainer for the guy that the father of Sue Ann. Like he used to be his like trainer or something. Yeah, like working out or whatever. And it's written by Jun Suk Park and Song Ho Yeon, and directed by Song Ho Yeon. Did I say that right? This
I think
is why
so.
I didn't want to name any of these, but okay.
That's all right.
And I got these little facts. It was from some website because I stopped using IMDb. So I do a search anyway. So there was a short film, which we already talked about. This is the 6th highest grossing. This is where you were talking about South Korean movies. I want to look up like the domestic box office of South Korea, because this is the 6th highest grossing domestic film in South Korea.
Wow.
So it's like if this is a 6th, then what's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Right.
The film was the first live action film for this director. He had only done animated stuff before. This movie became the first South Korean film to pass the $1 million mark at the Singapore box office. The word zombie is only mentioned twice in the film, which I don't know if I believe that, because then I read somewhere once and you don't focus on something like that. That's a stupid thing that I always go, what? It took just under 4 months to make this film.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
like,
impressive.
All of that, and it's got some CGI in it and stuff, but yeah, it's amazing. This is the first ever South Korean zombie film. This quickly became the most popular film to ever come out of South Korea. Rotten Tomatoes gave the film a 95% rating. It was the first South Korean film to reach over 10 million audience members in theaters.
Interesting. I wonder what the population of South Korea is.
I don't know.
Like the total population.
Yeah.
I'll take a look while you're talking.
Look that up while you're there. So it starts out, there's like a small leak. This guy's driving around. He's like, "What do you mean small leak again?" And they're like, yeah, just move on. And then he hits this deer, and he's like, "Oh, because he's messing with his phone." And don't drive and text everybody.
Right.
And then the deer's dead, and then he goes to drive. He's driving away, and then you see the deer come to life, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
With these white eyes, and the population of South Korea is 51.6 million people. So that's pretty impressive. You get 10 million
10
people
million.
to watch the same movie. I mean, that's big.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good. So here's what I was going to say before I get more into it. So I know you and I love Night of the Living Dead.
Yep.
I'm with you on that, but this is one of your tops, is Night of the Living Dead. I put it up there, but this is probably the best zombie movie ever. I love Dawn of the Dead. That's my favorite, and then Night of the Living Dead. But the original, Dawn of the Dead. I just love the black guy. Like, oh, so cool. The black guy's like the MacGyver of people. He's like a cook. He's like a SWAT team guy. He can do everything. He can sew. I think he sews something.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that for a while, but he does all. I remember just going, holy shit, he does everything. I want to be that guy. A Renaissance man. But this is.
See, and this one to me is in a different camp, though. To me, this is more 28 Days Later than it is Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Because are they zombies? You know, zombies starts with someone coming back from the. I always think back from the dead. You know, back from the dead,
and that's why they move slow.
Right.
And these are more of a mutation. From
chemicals, something going wrong. Yeah. Whereas, so this to me is more of an infection movie than it is a zombie movie, but that doesn't take away from it at all. The only common denominator is the bite transfers the infection. But I think in Night of the Living Dead, it wasn't that you got bit, it was that you died and then came back. You were reanimated.
Yeah.
Dead flesh reanimated. Whereas this is because we actually see them, they don't lose consciousness. A lot of them maintain their consciousness, and then the flip switch, or the switch flips, and then they're a rabid, crazy, evil monster thing.
The asshole guy's like, my mom lives in Busan, and he goes, you've been bitten. He's like, oh shit, like,
right?
And that's how you would feel, just like if you would watch Walking Dead, or you watch the remake of Dawn of the Dead, where you guys talked about it, me and Jason talked about it on my show, when Max Headroom gets bit. I always know him as Max Headroom. Matt Frewer gets bit. Other people know him as the Stan guy.
Right.
When Matt Frewer gets bit, and he's like, they got to kill him, but they're going to wait for him to turn. Like, that's so sweet. And like, they have their moments to say goodbye. And it's like, oh, that fucking woman coming in with her truck. Badass.
It's a great movie.
Oh my God.
James Gunn, man. James Gunn knows how to write a movie.
Oh yeah. But and this movie starts out where it's kind of slow. You're like, okay, it's a guy trying to get connected with his daughter. They get on that train. That person stumbles onto the train. Junkie Junkerson. They're not drunk. And all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And even the homeless guy, I call him the homeless guy in my notes, but the homeless guy, the guy in the green jacket, you think he's bit because he's kind of like, oh my God, and he's and he limps. And you're just like, oh my God, is he bit? But he's not bit. He's
just mumbling nonsense.
Shit.
They're all dead.
Shit.
They're all dead. Yeah. Everybody's dead.
Yeah. I love when the father gives her a gift, and he's like, and she opens it, and he's like, you don't like it? And it's a Wii. And then the camera pans over, and there's a Wii. She's looking at it, and he looks at it, and it's by the
She's
TV.
like, Children's Day this year. You already got me one of those. So we see that there is a huge disconnect in this relationship between the daughter and the father, and she right from the jump is like, I just want to go to Busan to be with my mom. I'll ride the train by myself. And like him, I'm like, no, you fucking won't. Like, you're like 8. You're not getting on a train to go, however far. I think they said it was only like an hour, train ride or something like that. But still, you're not doing
exactly.
that.
And this actress, she's so cute, and she's such a good actor, but she's so cute. But that's where, like, I'll have discussions with my wife, who was born in 81. She was from a family who was like religious, like, don't leave, and she's in Michigan, and there wasn't a lot of bike riding where she's from. And so I was like, yeah, I used to be like fucking the Goonies, and I used to be like E.T., and I'd just hop on my bike and I'd take off, and I'd be out, and then I'd come home when the streetlights are on and be like, okay, what's for dinner? And she goes, I would not trust anybody, like, your kids. And it's like Dana Carvey said when he first had a kid. They said, how is it to have a kid? He said, it's like you take your heart out of your body, you let it run around,
right?
Like by itself. Like, okay, go unprotected. It's like, no, I want to put like a steel box around it and have nobody mess with my heart. So yeah. But the one infected gets on, and I like how Sue-Ann is looking at the guy a little out that is a little out of it in the restroom. And the man in the suit says, if you don't study, you may end up like him.
Right. And
she said, she instantly says, my mom says whoever says that is a bad person.
Right.
He said, so you're like, yes, right on, little girl. And then he says, she must have flunked school.
Right.
And you're like, oh shit, what an asshole.
This dude's a scumbag.
And that guy, just like our killer in I Saw the Devil, this guy's an asshole from the get-go. Like, he's just asshole jerk, only cares about himself. And that's what's interesting about this movie. Now, what do you think the theme of this movie is? To care for people, or to not care for people and be selfish? Because we'll go ahead and jump ahead. The conductor runs out to save the asshole, and then the asshole just fucking pushes him in front of them and takes off.
Right.
And it's like, so what do you do?
I think there is somewhere embedded in this movie a conversation about class structure in the world. Yeah. I think it's 100% about class structure in the world. And I think coming out of South Korea, we can't imagine what that feels like to live next to North Korea. And to have them be your neighbor, and to have to think about those things, and, to see these DMZs and shit like that. Like it's crazy. That idea is crazy. To see that country from space is nuts. It's
and two guys facing each other. That's all they do all day is just wait. And then, okay, I'm off my shift. Okay, you too.
So I think this has a lot to do with, the class system, the global class system, and this guy was a representation of not caring. I think Parasite does it a lot better, and it was much more on the nose in Parasite than it was in this. But I think we see, the powerful don't mind throwing the less powerful under the bus for any reason whatsoever. And this guy did it a couple times. He did it to the guy that helped him out the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, the coast is clear, bro. Go ahead. Don't worry about it. And he just shoves him straight into a zombie and takes off running. And then the same thing happens with, like you said, the train conductor. He, this guy comes out to help him. Like, he's willing to help. And he just immediately pushes him like, hey, let you get him. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry about your luck, friend.
And that's the other thing of where, I believe it's about being good to your heart. I had a thing. Here's something that happened to me. Kind of funny, kind of sad, kind of fucked up. So we're at a Mexican restaurant. An old lady is walking in to the Mexican restaurant. She trips over like the curb, like the concrete curb, and kind of falls down to her knees. I'm kind of laughing about it, but watching. I'm not laughing out loud, but kind of like, look, she fell. And then my wife, another guy gets up and goes to run out there to help her. And my wife's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, go help.
Right,
and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm kind of like, but that guy's already, but okay. So I get up to go help. And I'm like, I shouldn't have been loud. I should have been the first one up to go help, But yeah.
So you're the sociopath, is what we've learned on today's episode of My Cellular Heart.
Yeah, I'm the asshole that goes, look at that. Look, better you than me.
Right. No, I think, there are, and the zombie movie, we'll call it a zombie movie, even though to me it isn't infected. I think zombie just is a more,
we'll call it that because you're a big horror guy and you're a Romero. I think your name is Joe Romero.
It is. I love me some Romero. But it's always been a great platform to discuss social issues and specifically class divides because you have that horde. You always have the mass. You have that at your disposal to have that conversation. And this one, as many times as I've seen it, the first time I saw it, I thought it was going to end like Night of the Living Dead. I thought that ending was going to be about the same, and I was going to be like, fuck, not again. Like, please don't do this to me again. And fortunately, it doesn't end that way, and you get a little bit more of a happy ending. But the big theme, I think, is the dad's redemption story, his hero's journey. Yeah. Because he says it out loud many times. Like, we just got to worry about us. Like, don't worry about anybody else. And she's like, but Dad, help these people. The kid is the voice of conscience in him that he then starts to adapt, and it manifests in a physical way as they move forward.
And the guy judging him, the pregnant woman's husband, is like, oh, you're a financial broker guy.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
you do hedge funds, huh?
Yeah, you don't care about anybody. And then he starts kind of like, realizing like, oh my God, I'm this person. Like, I need to change that,
Yeah.
And she is so good with like when later on, but when that.
Have we even talked about what is actually happening in this movie? Like the zombie.
We're getting ready. So there was an outbreak. I was getting ready to talk about. So then they get on the train to go to Busan. He's going to take her with him, and that infected person that it just stumbles on right as they're closing the door, and you're like, oh fuck, that person's been bit. Like, that there's a zombie outbreak because you know what the movie's about, and that's why you're there to see it. And then all of a sudden, that person turns and bites the stewardess, and all hell breaks loose, and it's so fierce and violent
and fast. Quick, everything happens fast.
Yeah, and you're like, holy shit. And it's one of those where you think like, what would I do? Like,
yeah.
Like, where do you go? Like, and would you just be like, fuck, I'm out. Fuck you, Joe, I'm out.
Right.
And you're like, help. And be like, look, he fell.
Look, a zombie. It's eating people.
That's right. But it's that thing where it's so fast where you're like, holy shit. Like, and
the remainder of the movie takes place on this train for the most part. We get off for, a couple of minutes, 10 minutes in the middle, and it's almost 2 hours long. Like, it's a long movie too, especially for a horror movie that you typically don't see the run times being that long.
Yeah. And there's sad moments in there of like heartwarming. Like, usually in especially Hong Kong movies that you'll see, they're overly melodramatic with their emotional scenes,
Yeah.
and you're like, come on, like dial it back a little bit. But this one is like spot on. Like the mother calls him, and she's being
Yeah, that was
getting a
sad.
change, and that's sad. And then she's like, "Was that grandma?" Like, you know. And then when the little girl helps the old lady, like gives her seat,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Grandma's knees hurt all the time."
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, you already won me when you
Right.
walked on screen. Like I already got you. And then what I wrote here for us for COVID times is stay at home and trust your government. That's
Right.
what they tell you on the
Yeah,
train.
that was really intense, man. It was
Yeah.
it was like, fuck, this hits a lot different today than it did the first
Yeah.
time I saw this movie. Because, you
Yeah.
have a talking head on TV that's like, everything's under control, don't worry about it. But then we keep getting, interlaced scenes with just fucking chaos everywhere.
And
Everywhere.
everybody, and it was pretty much like, I have a guy at work that was like this. It fucking annoyed the fuck out of me. But it was the people getting the tweets that are like lemmings, like nobody, like it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's real. I'm watching out my window. I see it. This guy at work was like, our freedom's gone away. I got to wear a mask. Like, fuck that. Like, it's only like 0.04% of people that are dying of COVID. It's like, really? Because yesterday, 44 people died here in Arizona.
Right.
Like,
yeah, you guys are real
like,
heavy hit right
but,
now.
he's like, well, you got to dive really deep to look at it. And it's like, yeah, because you're looking for the Republican, you're
Right.
watching Fox News, and you're like, oh, anyway, let's not talk politics. But something that I did want to talk to you about that was creepy, and you're the only one who will understand. I'm at Walmart. Me and the wife are at Walmart the other day. Was it Walmart? Home Depot? No. Anyway, we're at the store, Target. We're at Target, and all of a sudden, over the intercom outside, there's loudspeakers out there. I had no idea. Please, everyone, wear your mask. We are advising you to wear a mask, and everybody be safe. And you're like, holy,
Like,
this
what's
is like,
happening?
Am I in East Germany?
Yeah.
What's going on? It's like, holy shit. And
It's
it was
weird,
just
man.
weird. It was a little creepy where I'm like, okay, I get what they're saying, but for a speaker to tell me this, like
That
in the
eye in
parking
the
lot
sky,
while we're waiting
yeah.
in line. Yeah. It's like, oh.
But we've seen so many movies where that's usually the catalyst for some awful shit's about to happen.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
hey, I've
exactly,
seen this
yeah.
one, and I don't like the way this ends. We'll
Yeah.
come back to Target later because we need to
Yeah.
put some distance.
Hitler had all the best intentions when he
Right.
started, and they, at the beer push, and then was like, wait a minute, I got another idea.
Right.
Which another story that I can only tell you because nobody else cares. Wolfgang Peterson said one day he asked his mom, like, why was Hitler so big? And Wolfgang Peterson's mom was like, he was a great speaker, and when he spoke, you like had this pride and loyalty. Yes. And it was like, he was like, thanks, Mom, for being honest. Like,
Right.
okay. But anyway, it was just interesting thing. But then her dad tells the little girl, tells her, like, don't be so nice and only look out for yourself. And that's the part where she talks about Granny's legs hurt all the time.
Right. Because
And-
isn't that right around when they were splitting from the group? When he had talked to his buddy in Daeang, I think was the first town they were going to stop
when they
in.
got there. Yeah. But but then he meets the guy with the pregnant wife first because they're at the restroom.
Right.
And the guy's like, go use the other restroom. And the girl's like, no. And I love how the wife, whenever, like, their dynamic, the wife and him just as an actor, like, he'll mumble something and she'll nudge him and he'll be like, well, it's true. Like,
Right.
she's a little girl, or whatever. And you're like, oh my God, like, I love it. And he
Well,
just
yeah, because he
speaks
even
his
tells the
mind.
little girl, he's like, I made that when he's talking about her
that's
being
where-
pregnant.
she
Yeah.
and he goes, I did. It's true.
Right.
Yeah. And there's a couple moments like that where it's like, oh,
And he's just such a
and-
lovable character. Like,
Yeah.
he puts on this kind of tough guy veneer, but underneath, that he actually cares about all of these people.
Yeah. And that's what's great about this movie. Other movies, I don't know. I guess other movies do it, but all the characters you care about,
Sure.
you're like, you can identify with them and you want them all to live. And when something happens to them, you're like, oh, fuck. Like it's a major thing, And
And a
then
lot
that's when
of major fucking things happen in this where you're just like, fuck.
yeah.
Fuck.
And they get in Daejeon, and Dijon mustard, and it's under quarantine, and a man talks to the conductor into heading to Busan, but they have to get the others for. He's like, but wait, I got to get the others. They just left, and the guy's like, no.
Yeah.
And that's where I put it. It is a little bit of class structure. This whole movie where he's just like, I only care about me.
Class structure, mob mentality.
And Dad only cares about himself and Sue-Ann, and Sue-Ann calls him on his shit. Like she's like, care for more people. Like, you need to be nicer. And then coming down the escalator and the military, one of the best scenes ever, coming down the escalator and the military's waiting there with their backs to them. And then all of a sudden they all turn and just start running up the escalator and the stairs. And he grabs his pregnant wife and puts her onto the stairs because running up, down escalators is harder to do.
I've seen enough cartoons to know that doesn't work.
Yeah. And so then they do that. And you're like, would I make it? Like, that's my thing I wrote. Would I make it? Like, they're fucking running fast. And you're like in a group of people, and it's like, go.
In this movie, what I love about this movie, and what I've always, and it was done a little bit in World War Z, but this is the superior movie in every single way when compared to World War Z. World War Z was a great book, but what was it, Survival Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse or some? Anyway, both those Max Brooks books were both really good. But in this,
he did that one too.
Yeah, he did both of those. And you know what else? So this is completely off topic, but I was talking to, after Carl Reiner died, I saw a picture of him and Dick Van Dyke and Max Brooks, or not Max Brooks, his dad, but Mel Brooks. Looking at the three of them, I didn't know that fucking Mel Brooks was 94 years old. Like, in my mind, I knew Dick Van Dyke was that old, but I had no idea that fucking Mel Brooks was 94 years old.
Well, and him, if you watch Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks would always sit and they'd order takeout, have dinner together, and watch movies with explosions, because they always love where somebody goes, we got to get out of here. Right. And they said, we just love it. It could be the cheesier, the better. Like, we just sit there and watch it. And they have their TV trays, and they just eat, and there's a really good.
But where I was trying to go, the World War Z thing, is that in this movie, the infected, there's almost like a hive mind, but they move like water. Like, if you were to pour water in any container you pour it in, it takes that shape. And throughout this entire movie, the horde just takes whatever fucking shape it is, and they just go. I mean, they're going, like, climbing over top of each other. And that's why I'm so impressed they did this in 4 months, because some of those shots, just the amount of extras you would need to put all the makeup all over them. And
especially when you look at something like World War Z, which I believe came out before this. And remember when we saw it on the trailer with them all
up to the helicopter,
and they were all up to the helicopter and up the wall, and they were just making a ladder, and you were like, holy shit. And then this did it even where it's like,
I think it did it better because in World War Z, you had a lot of CGI people, whereas in this one,
I was going to say, this is real people.
You had actual human beings all painted up, all look fucking crazy. And some of these human beings, I'm like, did you have to go find contortionists? Because some of these fuckers would get up off the ground with, like, their arms twisted, crooked behind their back.
I was like, these guys must be dancers, because they're like twisting and doing all that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. I don't know if you knew this. Again, on a side note, this is why I like doing the show with you, because nobody else cares about my little stories. Did you watch the making of Interstellar?
I didn't. I would like to, though, but I didn't.
The guy from... Remember Don't Worry, Be Happy video?
Yeah.
Remember with the hat, and he would like scrunch it down?
Yeah.
It had Robin Williams on it. The guy with the hat plays the robot in Interstellar.
Really?
Because of his body movement.
Yeah.
They used him to move the robot, which it's like the robot's just like scissors. Like, what do you mean? But they used him. It was like, oh my God.
Some of those, that's cool. Like that cat from The Conjuring 2 that played the Crooked Man. I thought forever that was CGI. No, that was a fucking real guy moving like that. And I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
It's amazing. And I think that's why they got that girl. She was in Atomic Blonde, but she was in the Mummy remake because she's like a dancer and can move a certain way. But in the Mummy, she reminded me of the girl from Ghostbusters.
A little bit. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But then that military guy's there when they're on their way back to the train, and the military guys, and then right about then, the father gets a call on his phone, and he's like, what's going on? And all of a sudden that military guy's like bitten, and it's like, fuck. And now they have to run, plus the others are coming as they're leaving. and a group of zombies attack the military guy, and the man and the homeless man, I call him, turn to run back to where Sue-Ann is, and behind her are fucking
We see
zombies
something
and
coming.
she's just watching her dad, and you're like, holy fuck. And suddenly my hero hits the zombies closest to her and saves her.
Elbows that fucker right in the head.
Yeah, and you're like, awesome. And then the rest of the group gets through the glass doors, and those doors, I've closed those before, and they're because they go both ways,
Right.
like yourself. And
Damn.
and they're hard to lock into the frame because
Right.
the hinges work both ways, like myself as well. And and then they get through the glass doors. They block the door. Oh yeah, they block the doors with bats. Then they break through. Sue-Ann's father's being attacked and trying to fight the guy. Homeless guy helps and throws a jacket over the attacker. And then they take off running because remember he's just there like by himself. And then they help him, and so he gets because he's kind of freaked out, the father. And then the husband of the pregnant wife sees them and opens the door and calls, "Asshole, come on!"
Right.
And the
Hey,
father's
you
like,
asshole!
Yeah,
And he
you're like,
snaps
so
out
great.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he real quick. He's like, "Oh fuck, I gotta do something here. I gotta go."
And they get through the door just in time, and that's when they're trying to latch the door, and I love it. And everyone getting on the train, and you're like, "Oh my god, hurry up! Like you're
It's tense.
From that moment that first zombie attacked, you're in
But
it.
Shane and I were talking about it yesterday. We were watching it because we're just sitting on the couch, and there's moments like I feel my hands, and I even told her, I said, "I'm fucking tensing up," and she's like, "I know." She's like, "I find myself holding my breath." Like
Yeah.
he built the tension so good in this movie. Those moments like make or break. We have a split second to get here, or whatever.
I love in moments like that to feel my neck to see if my heart
rate's
more.
going.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. And then the window above the train breaks, so you're like they're almost to the train. Then that window above the train breaks, and they all fall onto.
And that's where they really look like water. I mean, it just looks like some sort of a force of nature that you just can't stop.
And it's pouring off the side of the train, and you're just like, fuck. And everyone's on the train except the baseball players, the woman's husband, and Sue-Ann's father, and Sue-Ann. Sue-Ann got on.
She got on with
I
the
think
pregnant
the mother
woman.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they lock the glass door and run, but zombies break through the doors and go after them. The train is pulling away, and they are trying to catch it. And two of them get on, but the pregnant woman's husband's trying. And you're like, "Fuck, no,
I know,
don't!"
I like
I
him.
hope he makes it. And suddenly he runs like away from the train, and you're like, "What the fuck's he doing?" And he snatches up the shield that he was looking at his shield before.
Because at this point he's running at the camera. We can't see what's in front of him.
Yeah.
And then the camera spins around, and we see that there were zombies coming straight at him. So he gets this riot shield and a baton and just takes it right upside the head.
And he tells
of
the
these
father,
zombies.
Sue-Ann's father, he's like,
Yeah.
Tells Sue-Ann's father, like, "Get out, like, look out, they're coming at you." And so good. And then they save him. Goodness, I wrote a lot about that shield zombies.
But they're on different cars now, is the thing that's happened.
Yeah,
now we're
that's-
separated in different cars on
As
the
a
train.
fucking, I used to write some scripts, and as that set up, like, we're on, let's look at the thing, 9. Where do we got to go? 13 for my wife, 15 for everybody else.
Right.
Okay, got it. 4, we got to go through 4 train cars. And it's like, and then they get ready like World War Z, where I love that part on World War Z where he puts a magazine around his forearms, and you're like, "Oh, that's clever." And then
they
Control
start
Center
fighting their
says-
way.
Yeah, and Control Center says they're going to clear the way to Busan, so they're just going to go straight to Busan. And and then they make it through. And that first one, baseball player calls his girlfriend, and that's where she's like, "Everybody's on 15," so they know that they got to get there, but get the woman first.
Well, and they had talked to them on the phone once they were in the bathrooms, because they're in a car full of zombies.
Yeah,
and they're
And
hiding in
that
the
was-
bathrooms, holding the door shut.
And that was freaky, where they were trying to close that door.
Yeah.
And they're just like, the homeless guy and them two. And it's just like, holy fuck. And then they fight their way through the first train car. And when they get to the next one, it's all the baseball team. And the baseball player can't do it because it's his friend.
He's struggling.
And they see that. So they like push him aside. And they're like, we got this. And you're like, yeah.
I love that scene too, where the big dude fucking throws that guy straight up into the ceiling and then slams him straight down on the ground. Yeah, it was amazing.
And then they go through the tunnel and it gets dark and then they can't see him. And they're like, oh, wait, we can use this. And that's when they realize that. And right before they are to the next cars or sneaking by, they come out of the tunnel and you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah.
It's so tense, man. Everything was so tense. And then they...
Well, and...
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, getting through all those cars. They have a goal. They got to get there. And you're just like, fucking hurry up, and you're just worried for them and doing it in different ways. It's like, okay, you can't just go through to be boring. You got to now climb across the...
Right, the top, the luggage racks. Yeah, they're up on the luggage racks, climbing through. And they finally make it to 15, and now we've got a human versus human element.
But they do the thing with the phone. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
He did the phone, and they called it, and it rang. And then later, when he's talking to the guy, he goes, why do you have that ringtone on your phone? And the guy's like, it's cool. Yeah. And then he turns and goes, I don't know how to get it.
Can you change it for me?
Yeah.
Talking to the kid.
Yeah.
And this is once they get to 15, the people on the other side of 15 are all barred the doors, tied them off. You're not coming in here with us. This is another great, demonstration of kind of the class warfare and class divide and things like that. But we get the zombies now coming through, and this is when we lose our big guy, and that's sad. Like, I was just, it's heartbreaking. Yeah. This dude trying to buy them a couple minutes.
Yeah, him and the father are holding the door. They're trying to get in the door at the other end, and they won't let him in because the asshole guy is like, they gone through four.
They're infected.
Four things. They're infected. We know that they've been bit. Like, forget it. And now everybody believes him. Like, okay, you must be right. And then when he's holding it with the father, and the father's trying to like beat their hands out so they can finally close it, and the woman that he hits over the head is laying on the ground, so you think she's out, and then she just turns and jumps and bites the big man's hand, pregnant girl's husband, and you're like, oh fuck. And now he's like, I'm getting tired, like, you got to go.
Right, I need you to protect her.
Doesn't want to go. Yeah, he doesn't want to go. He goes, promise me you'll protect her, and he takes off and runs. And then they bust through the window, and then all of them start coming through.
He holds them back for a while, though. Like, he's just standing there. Yeah,
he's beating them until he changes, and still he's fighting them a little bit. Yeah. Oh, so, and that's one where, like I said, where you care for this guy. You're like, they built him up so good, and then you're like, oh, damn, that sucks.
Right.
And then now the other group sneaks through. The other group sneaks through the car on the luggage racks. Oh yeah, we're
already through there. This is where they break down the door to get into the. They break down the door to get into the other room, and again, our COO scumbag character is like, "Well, you can't stay here. You guys all got to go into the vestibule up front. Like, you can't be around us." And the mob, the herd, very quickly gets on his side, and they're like, "Yeah, get the fuck out of here!" And they're just standing there. Having fought through all of this shit, like, what the fuck, man?
Looking at everybody like, do I look a bit, Yeah. But, and then they go to that vestibule, and they're waiting in there, and then they're tying their stuff off. And then all of a sudden you see the old
Granny
lady sees
sister.
her sister.
Yeah.
And she's like, and she talks about, why did you have to care for other people? Because now you've been bit, and now you're, And then she goes and opens that door, and they all come in, and
because she looks back at everything that had happened, and it's kind of like my feeling is she was just like, they're all fucked up, like, this is all wrong.
Yeah, my feeling is this car that I'm in, these people are all fucked up.
Right,
like, I'll show them. Yeah,
and we don't actually see that whole death sequence. We just see them beating on the door. You only see that little bit on the door.
Yeah. And it's, and that's where you're like, oh, good, the asshole died.
Right.
And then later you're like, oh, wait, him and his buddy are hiding in the bathroom.
Yeah, even Shayna was like, this fucking guy again. She's like, I hate this guy. And I'm like, yeah, he's bad.
Yeah. Another side note, a stewardess once, when I was manager of a video store, she told me the safest place in an airplane is the restroom. If the plane's going down, get in the restroom. She goes, at a plane wreck, you always see the restrooms are like fully... Yeah, like they're still formed, and I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I always think sit in the back because the mountains are up front.
Right.
But
Right.
I told that to somebody though getting on a plane. They didn't think it was very funny. I was like, "Oh, we're in the back, good, because the mountains are up front." And they said nothing. I was like, "Oh, maybe it's bad to make jokes on an airplane
About crashing into mountains.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so then, but we forgot the most emotional part when he's holding that door, and she makes jokes before about he just calls him baby because he can't make up his mind on what he wants the name to be, and then he calls out, "I know the baby's name," and he yells out the name, and he's like, "You got it?"
Yeah.
And it's just like, so good, so fucking great. And then they're there, and then
we got the trouble on the tracks.
Then the track, yeah. Then there's like, what do you call those? Whatever, the containers are on the track, so they have to stop. And the guy's like, the conductor's like, "I'm gonna run to the left. Everybody go to the left. We're gonna go to another train. We're gonna get something. We're gonna go." And so he just runs by himself, which I was like, that's pretty brave. And then they get out, but all the big trains are there, so they can't like get around them, and they got to get through them. And there's zombies on every train, and it's like, holy shit. And then they get through the one or whatever, but then there's that one that is on fire, and
that's
then
barreling down the tracks.
And,
yeah, there's one that's moving really fast that's on fire, and that kicks the train over and separates the baseball player and his girlfriend from the homeless guy, the pregnant woman, the little girl, and her dad are now separated. So we've got essentially 3 groups of people if you include the one guy who's on his own, the conductor.
Yeah. And then like you said, the asshole is like pushes his friend into the zombies, and he takes off, and he's trying to look for somewhere.
And because the conductor's already got the train running, and he sees it, and the conductor's like, come on, you got to hurry up.
Yeah, and he even had to get an older train. He couldn't get the new, like, he had
bullet
to get
trains.
the old school train. And then what's cool is when that train falls and all the zombies are on the glass, and they're like
so
stuck there.
tense, man.
And the husband's and the father is like, hang on, we'll go out this way. And he gets out, and then that thing falls right in front. And I'm also thinking, even though this was the second time for me watching, I was like, before that fell, I was like, is a pregnant girl going to be able to make it? Like, her belly won't make that through the gravel. I'm like, holy shit. But then he uses like that, when your baby's crushed, you have
adrenaline,
human strength. Yeah. And he just he screams and pulls that off there, and then gets them all out. And right as he's doing that, one of the glass breaks, and the homeless guy with the green jacket, I call him homeless, I don't know what he was, but he, maybe he holds off some of the zombies that came through the one glass. So that
those two can get out.
And he goes, go. And the daughter, Sue-Ann, and the pregnant woman leave. And as they're leaving, the other 2 windows break. And like you said, it's just like water pouring into the gravel. And he's like trying to hold on. And then falls and crushes everybody except for them. They get out. And then they run for the train. And you see the train conductor sees the asshole guy running at him and being attacked by zombies. So he runs out to help. And that's when the asshole guy's like, fuck you. And like pushes him down and takes off. And now he gets attacked and killed. And then when they get to the engines, just the engine of the train, when the pregnant woman, and that's another one where you said like practical, like they're all
those
like
people,
a big sheet, like a sheet of people that's just, but them running for that train and just, there's like 20 of them.
When you get that big bird's eye view shot
and 60 and
you
80,
just see them keep coming.
A bunch of them. And you're like, holy shit. And then they get on there, and then they're just laying on there like a sheet. And the one is on top of them trying to mate. And you're like, holy fuck, watch that guy. And then he hits him, knocks him out, and kicks her hands, and then they fall off. And then you think you're like, oh, that asshole's on there. But then the asshole opens the door and comes out, and he's been bit.
Right.
And he's infected, and he's
slowly turning though, and what a great effect too, because you kept seeing the veins get more defined on his face and his eyes slowly turning.
And here's what I got from that, where I talked about him talk about his mother in Busan, because I don't think he was ever going to Busan. Wasn't he like, we need to go somewhere else?
Well, he eventually said Busan, but
okay, because I was thinking that when the infection takes over, it's almost like your last thoughts, like your life, just like it happened to the father. And that was what he was remembering, my mom in Busan. And he's like, we got to go to my mom in Busan, you know,
Right.
and that's what that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
I
that's a good
kind
point.
of took from it, my bed. And then the father gets bit by the asshole guy. He sacrificed himself, puts
He
his
puts
hand
his
in
hand
there
in
so
his
he
mouth
can't,
so that he
yeah,
doesn't get the
so he
kid or
won't
the
bite
pregnant woman.
anybody.
Which was, foreshadowed way back when the bigger dude's talking to him. He's like, dads never get the respect. We make
Yeah.
these sacrifices. And, he kind of sets him up like he's going to make the ultimate sacrifice. And that fucking sequence, if that don't almost break your heart, you're not a human being. Because when she's screaming like, Daddy, don't go, I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah. And then also with that was a little funny moment with that guy saying that, like, this is his first kid that he's having.
Yeah.
But he's giving fatherly advice.
Right.
And then he turns to that kid and he goes, they kind of laugh and he goes, what did I say? Did it sound cool?
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
like, whatever. And it was like, oh my God, it's so awesome. And, but yeah, with him, like he has thoughts of when she was born and he's holding her and all that. And then that beautiful shot reminding me of like a Lawrence of Arabia when he's up on top of the train.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
And you just see the shadow.
It's like his shadow falling. And you're just like, oh my God. And then they run into a blockade at the train, the pregnant woman in Suan. And then they go to walk through the tunnel and you're like, oh fuck, what's going to happen? Something's going to happen. And then they're coming out and the military guys are there and they got the sniper rifles. And
I can't confirm they're not infected.
Is she infected? I can't tell. Okay, kill them.
Right.
And he's like, okay. And he's getting ready to. He's got it half pushed. And then all of a sudden she starts singing the song that she told her dad, I only learned for you.
Right.
And I'm almost getting choked up. I only learned to sing for you and you weren't there. And that's why I couldn't sing it. And you're like, oh my God, that's why when he's watching video, she's not singing it because
right.
you're not there. You're like, oh my God, so good. And then she sings it more of like a go away dad, like here's for you, dad.
Like I'm with
and
you,
you're
dad.
Just like, yeah. And you're just like, and then they're like, oh, okay, they're alive. They're
survivors.
humans.
We got
like,
survivors.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, so awesome.
And then roll credits.
Yeah.
And we've got we haven't gotten a release date on Peninsula yet, but I'm very excited for Peninsula.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even though it looks much more action heavy than Train to Busan, and there's a lot of action in Train to Busan, but this is like fucking car chases and battle royale, Mad Max with zombies.
Yeah.
It looks crazy.
So I hope that they didn't just, it doesn't seem like it because it took a while to come out. So it doesn't seem like they just tried to cash in and do that, And so I think it'll just be a fun movie. And I can't wait for it. I hope the theater's open so I could see it in the theater. Like,
I know. Cool. The only one I'm just pleased by October. Let me go watch Halloween Kills. That's the one.
Yeah. That was, I saw the last one in the theater and that was so much fun. Me and the wife. And then that was when I was like, we got to buy this. I go, do you like these? And she goes, yeah, like I said, she doesn't like the ghostly stuff. She more likes like stuff
the slashers
like
and stuff.
Yeah. Although if she saw the other ones where he gets struck by lightning and then, or no, that's
Jason.
Sorry, Jason. Yeah. Then she'd be like, oh, come on. But speaking of, I want to get all the Halloweens together. But they're so different because there's so many different, different production companies. But something else I want to talk to you because I was listening to your recent show. Those movie guys, by the way, I'll let you promote in a minute. I can't believe you hadn't seen Hell Goes to Frogtown. I watched it because I thought that you had seen it. So like 2 years ago on one of my shows, I was like, I saw Hell Goes to Frogtown. It was kind of weird. It was fun and da-da-da. And then I hear you go, I never saw Hell Goes to Frogtown. I'm like, holy shit. Like,
that movie was so, it's one that I'm going to go back to, I think, many times because it's kind of like I told Phil, is just, it screams 1988. Like it just screams it. It's coke fueled filmmaking at its finest.
Yeah.
Like fuck it, make frog people. Fuck, put them.
Yeah.
Get him a chastity belt. Who cares? Fuck Rowdy Piper. Let's put him in it. Why not? It was it was amazing. I'm so happy I watched it. And I wish I would have watched the Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs because he always does a good job talking about the movies
like a deep dive and I did that with what was the one with the guy from Home Alone, Daniel Stern? That movie, because I'd never seen it.
Which
the ones that live under the ground, Chud.
Oh, Chud? Yeah, Chud.
So I watched that of his, and he had like some facts.
Yeah, he
and
always
stuff,
gets
and it
people on
made it a
who
little
are-
more fun. But yeah, I had always, ever since seeing the trailer on TV, I was like, I want to see that movie, and then I never did. And then
Yeah,
I was
Chud's
like,
cool.
oh, I finally get to see it. Yeah,
Chud's cool.
so
Yeah,
it
they were
was
like,
fun.
what, homeless people living in the sewers?
Yeah, I was like mutated or something. I
Mhm.
don't know. It was weird. But I also want to see Ghoulies. I've never seen Ghoulies. I've never
Oh,
seen
fuck,
Critters.
Ghoulies
so I
is
need to
amazing.
see those. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch Critters just for that young Leonardo DiCaprio in Critters 3.
Yeah, that's what I heard
Yeah,
you say.
he's
And I
super
think he
young.
was talking about that once where, forget he was.
It was
Oh,
the
he was
only. It's
talking
the
about it
only
with-
sequel he's ever been in.
He was talking to Mark Maron about. Mark Maron was like, and then you were in Growing Pains, and he's like, I was in Leprechaun 3 for like a little bit, blink and you miss it, and so it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But okay, I guess that's all, unless you have other things to say. Well, I mean, I'll let you promote the show, and then I guess I'll end with my little sign off. Whatever.
Yeah, man. No, it's if you want to check us out, those Movie Guys podcasts, we've got 9 episodes left. We're gonna be wrapping the show up at episode 250. It's a fucking lot of episodes, man. So,
I know it
was a long
it's
running
like-
show. We've got some fun things planned once we get a little bit closer to the actual end. But yeah, any podcast platform you can find us, those Movie Guys podcast. We've been doing it forever. We're gonna keep doing it all the way up to 250, the way we've been doing it, and then call the thing good.
Yeah, that's no, it's a good show. I like it. I'm even probably just going to steal your format, and I'll just call my
You could
this
take it,
movie
man.
guy. I'll
Yeah.
call it This Movie Guy podcast.
You can take it.
But no, I'll probably do it on your show too. I'll talk about it. But I want to say thank you to you guys, because I was doing a show called It's Kind of a Funny Podcast before. Well, way before, in 2010, I had a podcast called it was called whatever it was called. And then I called that It's Kind of a Funny Story, or Kind of Funny Podcast. And then my buddy was like, I'm busy with the kids and the football with the kids and the school and stuff, and I can't do it. And I'm like, Sergio, you're killing me. And so then in about 2015, I was like, I'm going to start it again. I'm going to do what I wanted to do before, which is bring each individual friend in to talk about shit. And a lot of my friends, some of my friends aren't like you and me who watch movies all the time. They're like, well, I mean, you don't also, you have other stuff going on. I do too. But you know what I mean? My friend's like, I got the kids. I play video games a lot. I don't watch movies like I used to.
Yeah.
He's like, can you just have something else? So I was like, let's just bullshit then. I'll bring up news stories and we'll make fun of them and all this stuff. So we said, okay. So we were doing that. Then at about 2018, is that one? Whatever. I got up to like episode 100 and a little past that. And then I'm listening to your show. However, I found your show. I don't remember, but like episode 150 or something, or 105, I think. And I was like, this is good. And you guys are like, I'm watching this, watching that. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I write it down and I'd watch it. And then I go, why am I catering to my friends?
Right.
What they want to do a podcast about in the beginning that I kind of backed away from because everybody's doing a movie podcast. So I said, I'm going to do a movie podcast. These guys inspired me. So I said, I'm going to go back to 2010 when I wanted to call it My Celluloid Heart and the Kitchen Sink so we could talk about movies and everything else. And I'll just call it My Celluloid Heart, talk about movies, and that's it. And if my friends want to be on, talk about movies, that's great. If not, I'll do it by myself.
Yeah.
So, worked out.
It's awesome,
So
man.
thank you.
Yes, and you've got a
Thank
great
you very
show.
much.
You have a great
Well,
show.
thank you. I hope so. I try to make it better. Sometimes run into problems, but that's my own. It's my own thing of like, wait a minute, is that doing anything? Is anybody care about? And then I'm like, no, these are my movies from my heart that, like I explained on the last show to Brant, was that I like The Killing because I remember seeing that for the first time, and that's why I love it. And I didn't watch it as a Kubrick film. I watch it as, this is a movie you should see, and I saw it and I loved it.
It's a great
So,
movie.
Anyway, yeah. But just know that certain movies stick in with you and stay in your head and heart forever. So join me next time when I put two movies together by one topic or theme. My Celluloid Heart is big and gets fuller with every new movie that I watch. So thank you, Joe, for being on the show. And maybe you'll be able to be on my season 3 is going to start with Goldeneye. So maybe you can be on the Quantum of Solace. I got nobody for Quantum of Solace. So maybe
Well, I can understand why a lot of people don't want to jump on Quantum of Solace.
You're like, yeah, I'm one of them. No, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one guy that was like, "Hey, I really like that movie." I was like, "Well, let me know. You can be on. Well, maybe I'll just write something in, and you can. Okay,
Yeah.
then I guess we'll do it that way." So, anyway, all right. Well, thank you.